Greetings, my love. It's me, your girl, Scott, is coming back at you. Just getting here with infinity. Magnetize yourself.
Souls, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, I am doing a collective reading and energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So, if you would like to channel a specific message from the reading today, I do recommend liking the video and also double check to be sure that you are subscribed to the channel. By liking and subscribing, these are forms of energy transfer, and this allows me to pick up more easily on your energy and channel more specifically for you and your situation. So I'm going to start today by shuffling the Energy Oracle Cards deck. What do those listening to this reading need to know at this time? Okay, so the first two cards that we have here are the Door to Romance and Woman Holding a Heart in the upright position. Right away, what I'm getting from these cards is that for some of you listening, there is someone connected to your energy that wants to open some kind of door romantically with you, and who also wants to communicate with you that they feel you are the one holding their heart. Now, this is all sitting on the third eye chakra, which is the seat of intuition. And what this tells me is your intuition is already aware of the way that this person is feeling. You can already sense that there is someone here who is, I want to say, like smitten by you or infatuated by you, even if they're being very silent about it when it comes to their words or their 3D communication. This is someone who has tried holding back a lot of this overwhelming spiritual magnetic pulling they've been feeling towards you with Door to Spirit reversed, and possibly someone who's been trying to resist the way that connecting with you has begun to awaken them spiritually. But the key here is there is no holding back this energy for long. This person is feeling unable to use their traditional coping mechanisms or ways to kind of hold back their emotions. I feel like I am connecting with a masculine energy here who is typically one that is capable of keeping his heart closed, keeping his energy very stoic, his expression kind of very stoic, not really showing necessarily a lot of emotion externally. But when it comes to you, it feels like this flood of emotion that can't be held back. I keep seeing someone wearing glasses, so that could be relevant for someone. So I want to know more about the masculine that I'm channeling into here. By the way, of course, I do channel many different people, situations, and connections through these readings. So always only take what does connect with you personally in an intuitive way. And of course, this is interesting. I'm getting rest and rejuvenation reversed, and I'm hearing restlessness, urgency. So if you are someone who connects as the divine feminine listening here, you may be specifically feeling some discomfort or some strange physical sensations around the sacral chakra. This is the lower abdomen area. I'm also getting you might be picking up some of these sensations in your solar plexus, the stomach region as well. Of course, always explore any medical causes for these types of sensations with a doctor first. But I'm feeling that for many of you, these could have an energetic root cause here, meaning that in this scenario, this masculine here is getting this almost like pit in their stomach or butterflies in their stomach kind of feeling. It's like a blend of excitement and fear, if I'm being honest, which sound really strange to be going together, but it's almost like this person is equal parts scared, like terrified, scared, and excited at the idea of you and this connection. I'm also picking up that there is a really strong pushing and pulling happening between your sacral chakras at this time, meaning there is this longing for each other, this magnetism. This person may be sending you a lot of sensual energy as well. So if you're randomly getting flashes of being near this person, touching them, kissing them, being close to them, this could be because they are sending you that sacral chakra kind of sensual energy, really longing to physically be around you. I just hear someone saying, like, I just want to touch you. I want to be close to you. This is especially happening late at night. And what I'm getting is you, divine feminine, whoever I'm speaking to here, you're actually picking up on that sacral energy this person is sending you. And it almost at times might feel like it's pummeling you. Like you, again, could get these uncomfortable solar plexus or sacral chakra sensations. You might get these flashes of imagery of this person holding you, kissing you, being near you physically. You might feel this really deep and intense sense of longing for this person that might even cause you to feel restless at times. This might actually keep you awake at night. Because again, I do sense a lot of times when this person sends you energy, it does seem to be later in the evening. If you do keep in communication with this person via text or phone call, even when you're at a distance, I'm getting that you are the last thing that this person thinks about. And that actually, if you do communicate at night and they say good night to you, for example, this person actually stays up a lot later than you might realize, than just thinking heavily about you, daydreaming about you. So you might believe that this person is sleeping when really they are sending you a lot of this energy. And that is why your guides, divine feminine, are really coming in to remind you to be very self-honoring at this time. Do your best to really maintain that energetic center of gravity with the angel of balance in the upright position. And also do your best to make choices on a daily basis, moment by moment, that are really self-respecting and self-honoring. Because the thing about the amount of energy this masculine is sending you is that it can actually tempt you out of your power, because you are highly empathic. So as you're picking up on them pulling on you so heavily, it might cause you at times to actually feel emotionally a little bit ungrounded or even out of control. And this may be something that's very unusual for you. It may be very confusing for the divine feminine I'm speaking to here, because you may be someone who is typically very emotionally self-regulated at this point in time. So you typically have a very strong handle on your emotions. You're very centered, grounded, connected to your inner world. But something about this person just really shakes you up emotionally. And so we're going to dive deeper into this, but I do feel that there is some kind of pre-existing energetic bond. When I say pre-existing, I mean that there is a lot of past life history here that's established this kind of energetic bond between your souls that causes you to feel one another in a stronger way, and therefore to be affected by each other's energy. It's almost like if you're feeling uncomfortable emotionally or at times even physically, you're actually getting this from each other. It's like the uncomfortableness of the two of you being physically apart when your souls are really pulling towards each other, really longing to be together. I'm also picking up there's a lot of pushing and pulling energetically happening in general between you and this person. This is happening at many different levels and layers. So the mental level, the emotional level, the energetic level. This pushing and pulling is going to feel like sometimes you are going to feel like almost this insatiable need to connect with this person, to talk to them, to be around them. Whereas at other times, you're going to feel this desire to kind of like pull back your energy, feeling like this is just getting too overwhelming, maybe even scared of how this person is causing you to feel so much intense emotion. And this other person is feeling the same way. Again, there's this pushing and pulling happening here that is really going both directions, and your energies are really playing off of one another. But the ironic thing is, I feel that very little, if any of this, is actually being communicated. Even if you are in communication physically with this person, I feel this pushing and pulling is something that you don't talk about, and you're keeping it light. So in your actual conversations, if there are physical 3D conversations, it seems like the two of you may actually be keeping those conversations very light. You might be using humor, you might be staying very on the surface, and yet I'm hearing everything you say holds a deeper meaning. It's almost like your words are light, your conversation is light, but the meaning there holds so much depth. Something I'm getting extremely strongly is that this is a type of connection that is breaking you both open to depths of feeling in the heart center that neither of you have really experienced otherwise or outside of this connection. And yet both of you are kind of wondering, am I going crazy? Am I just getting lost in some kind of delusion? That word delusion is coming up really strongly. Like both of you to some extent are wondering if you're delusional for feeling the way that you're feeling about the other. But the ironic thing is that fear of being crazy or being delusional is actually mirrored here by this person. So you're both equally worried that you are rushing into things too quickly, or that you're delusional, or that you're feeling too much for the other person without really fully understanding why. And the reason why is because, well, we have the yin yang card. You guys know this is my number one twin flame card in the deck. So for many of you, this is a twin flame situation. If not a twin flame, a very high level soulmate. This is someone that you share a really intense soul bond with. Now, the fact this card is upright tells me that the two of you are really strongly coming into alignment. There's a really positive spread of cards actually coming out here, with the yin yang card representing this powerful soul connection, the contract card reversed representing one or both of you, most likely both of you, coming out of a really heavy period of time that I'm calling here a karmic cycle in your life. Now, this karmic cycle may or may not involve another person, but the strongest word I get in connection with this karmic cycle is loneliness. So if this karmic cycle involves a karmic relationship with another person, this relationship itself caused you to feel, or caused this person to feel, very isolated and very lonely. But again, this could just be a karmic cycle of loneliness in general, not really feeling like you were able to connect with anyone, kind of wondering if you would be able to find this divine partnership with someone. And I'm hearing you entered each other's lives like a whirlwind. It's something that seems to happen very suddenly and very fast. Of course, for some of you listening, I could be speaking predictively. So this could be someone that you will meet moving into the future. But I do feel that your physical connection, which I really want to call a re-meeting, it's like, even if you're meeting for the first time in this incarnation, you have such a soul history. It almost feels like a reunion, like reuniting with each other in this particular lifetime. And your souls are overjoyed at connecting with each other, even if your conscious human selves are questioning it or are feeling really unsure. And I feel like that joy in each other's presence is something that is so evident and obvious on both sides. It, again, can't really be held back. It can't be hidden. It's just almost overflowing through you, through your being. That's actually a major way that you will recognize this person if you haven't met them yet, or that your soul did recognize them if you have met in this lifetime physically. It's the feeling of joy that doesn't seem to make sense, but it's like you're just overwhelmed with happiness, seeing that person, connecting with that person. Honestly, I wouldn't even say just seeing them, laying eyes on them. It's like this feeling of, yes, I've been looking for you. I finally found you. And yet there is this really heavy cycle that I feel the both of you are leaving behind here, almost a sort of mirroring. I feel that to some extent you both have had connections recently that have left you feeling even lonelier than before, or you've had connections that I don't want to say they've become boring to your soul, but at least on the masculine side of this, if not the feminine as well, there is this sense that the masculine has been very bored by his recent romantic relationships, whether those were long term or whether they were flings. I feel for many of them, they may have been out in the dating world. And again, just feeling this sense of monotony, like everyone and everything felt like the same. But when they saw you, they immediately felt that something was different. It's almost like this person was unconsciously seeking you out, unconsciously manifesting you, divine feminine, into their life. And that's actually part of why, if you have met this person or seen this person, when you looked into their eyes, divine feminine, you began to feel this irresistible pulling towards them. The thing I'm almost getting from this reading is that they energetically pursued you, but you may have looked like the chaser or the pursuer in the physical world. This is a really strange message, but it almost feels as though the masculine here, their soul had been longing for you, had been seeking you really intensely for a long time, and that they actually called in the exact timing in the exact circumstances to cause the two of you to be at the same place at the same time. And in that moment, when you looked at them, because you are the more empathic one, divine feminine, you felt them trying to pull you into their orbit. But the thing is, this person may have not shown that through actions, through words. I'm calling it them energetically pursuing you because they were subconsciously or consciously really manifesting you into their life, but you were the one who responded to the pull. So in the physical world, it may have looked like you showed interest in them or wanted to meet them or connect with them or pursue them, which is part of why you, divine feminine, might feel a little bit like you're going crazy, because you feel as though you were the one pursuing them, and yet the pulling you felt towards them was running much deeper than just your own desires. It was actually this masculine pulling on your energy. Again, I keep saying, trying to pull you into their orbit here. With the Sun card in the upright position, I hear a masculine here saying, I wanted you the moment I saw you. It's like the moment they looked at you, they not only wanted to connect with you, but they almost instantaneously wanted you to be part of their life long term. But in the physical world, they seem to be playing it very coy. There may even be some type of a separation here, because we do have the Two of Cups reversed. Now, the Two of Cups traditionally is a really powerful twin flame card, particularly for twin flame unions. So again, if this isn't a twin flame, there is absolutely a strong potential for a sacred soulmate union here as well. But ironically, what I'm getting is there is that powerful potential, and this person did manifest you in, but it's almost like now that they've manifested you in, I hear them saying, I didn't expect to get this far. It's like they don't quite know how to proceed or what to do now that they've made it to the point of actually manifesting you into their life. Because what they may not have realized is that with the Judgment card, by manifesting you into their life, you carry this very powerful spiritual energy. You have the power to awaken and activate others. So manifesting you isn't just about manifesting a love relationship with you. If they want to connect with you long term in some kind of union, they are going to also have to do the spiritual work to go through this awakening. They could connect with lower vibrational feminine energies quite easily. In fact, I feel this is part of why they were bored in the past, because they were connecting with lower vibrational feminine energies in a way that was easy but very monotonous and didn't really challenge them to grow or to change. And at a soul level, they really desired the kind of powerful spiritual activation, awakening, and transformation that connecting with a truly awakened, conscious, divine feminine would bring into their life. And yet their human self may have not quite been ready or prepared for what that has now entailed. They are now beginning to feel the full force of that spiritual awakening and activation effect that you, Divine Feminine, are having upon them. And again, that's where those equal parts fear and excitement are coming up here. Specifically through this part of their awakening that you have sparked within them, they're really being pushed to overcome their limitations, overcome something limited about their mindset or some kind of preset judgment or series of judgments within their mind by using their intuition as a guide instead. So this is going to look very differently depending on the masculine coming through here. But for many of them, I feel that they, at the soul level, are a very ancient soul, someone who actually has some kind of psychic ability that maybe they've been repressing, very strong potential to be a powerful, awakened, divine masculine spiritual leader if they are to leave behind this karmic cycle of their past and really align with their highest timeline with the contract card reversed and the temple path upright. However, in order to do this, they are going to have to begin radically tapping into their intuition. Whereas in the past, I feel that they were very much led by logic and reason. There may even be something very specific here that this person has artificially been somewhat closed-minded about that is actually inhibited your physical full reunion or connection in some way. So for example, there may be some cultural difference, a blockage, a barrier, difference in belief system. Maybe this person is very skeptical of soul connections, of spiritual things. But again, this feels like an artificial closed-mindedness, whatever this is that might be preventing the two of you from fully coming together. It feels like something that was programmed into them in this life because of possibly how they were raised, how they were programmed by society, and something that their guides are really pushing them to overcome, again, by tapping into that deeper level of their intuition. With adjacent possibilities in the heart chakra in the upright position, I feel that they're being pushed to open their mind and open their heart, but not only to open their mind and heart, but also to be able to communicate that open-mindedness and open-heartedness. I feel that sometimes as a coping mechanism, as almost a way to protect themselves from possibly being hurt or rejected, this person may keep things very on the surface when what they're feeling or thinking is a lot deeper. So for example, intellectually, this masculine may be thinking very deeply about something, but they might pretend that their thoughts are very shallow or on the surface. When it comes to the heart space, they may be feeling a really intense depth of emotion, but because of, I'm hearing toxic masculinity, how they've been raised to believe that it is somehow weak as a masculine to show emotion, they may pretend that their emotions are actually a lot more on the shallow end than they really are. And again, this might confuse you, Divine Feminine, because you are so intuitive that you can actually see right through this person. You can see that they're a lot more open-minded than they let on to be. You can see that they feel a lot more deeply and intensely than they may share with words. And yet this person may have the tendency to deflect. So when you might get close to this depth of how they're really feeling or what they're really thinking, they might use something like humor or change the subject to something lighter, or even just not respond, because it's almost like they are overwhelmed by the way that you see them so intensely and so clearly. I'm hearing a masculine say, are you a mind reader? Are you psychic? And of course, Divine Feminine, you are highly psychic in the sense that you're very capable of reading energy. You are highly conscious, so others are very transparent to you. You're able to see through others to their true heart, to their true intention very clearly. So in the extended version of the reading, I will be channeling more into this masculine energy, what he is really thinking and feeling beneath the surface, because again, I feel that his true thoughts and feelings carry a lot more depth than what he may be portending or portraying on the surface. particularly because he may be using deflection to avoid sharing about those deeper thoughts or feelings. But Divine Feminine, you are already able to see through that. So hopefully what we share in the extended Patreon reading will really just be a confirmation of what you already are intuitively aware of. So the link to the extended reading on Patreon is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. But for now, I am going to reshuffle the cards, and I want to channel a bit more into your energy specifically, Divine Feminine. In recent readings, we've had a lot of masculine energy coming through whenever I channel into your aura, your energy. And this is because there's been a lot of energetic transference lately, particularly between you and possibly a few different strong masculine energies from your past, present, or future. Now, for some of you, these different energies could be the same person on different timelines, in different energetic forms, their unhealed version, their healed version, etc. But here we have the Tower card. Wow, what an intense card. So I'm getting that with the eclipse season we are going through, you, Divine Feminine, may feel as though emotionally, energetically, things are in a lot of upheaval. Even if in the physical world things may look somewhat stagnant, or it might not look like a lot is changing very quickly physically, and yet emotionally and energetically, you may have this jarring sense. This may even feel like uneasiness or restlessness to you at times. You may have different sleep patterns, different eating patterns. You might be feeling just a bit energetically disrupted. It may feel like a lot of chaos to you right now. When it comes to some major project or endeavor in your life, there may be some fears of something not being completed, or even some backsliding with the World card in the reverse position. You may be afraid that something in your life is either backsliding or stagnating. This could be in work, this could be a romantic situation. However, here we have the Chariot. This is a resounding yes card, and I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but I do feel a Divine Feminine who has been in this state of feeling a lot of upheaval, possibly seeing something stagnate, fearing that something is backsliding, who has been asking her guides, is this something I can do? Is this something I can overcome? And if you've been asking that kind of a question, I feel a resounding yes coming to you as an answer from your guides. And the Chariot card says, as an affirmation, no obstacles will stop me now. It's almost like there's an element of illusion here to these things that feel like upheaval or that feel like stagnation. This is actually you breaking down energetically these final energetic blockages or obstacles that may have been standing between you and your desired goal or outcome. And I see it's very important for you to keep the focus, to do your best, to hold your center of gravity, even amidst the chaos you may be feeling emotionally or energetically. Okay, what else can I channel? I'm getting the number 777 here for you as well. Yeah, I see that if you are in a period of time where things are feeling very stuck, or you're getting a lot of a sense of upheaval emotionally, we do have the Eight of Swords reversed, representing freedom, release, having sudden clarity I'm getting as well. So if something's felt very confusing for a long time, that might be almost like a fog is lifting around that subject very soon for you. I see some kind of freedom. I'm hearing emotional freedom. So you may have felt caught in bondage to something emotionally, whether it was a person, a situation, a past version of yourself. And it's almost as though you are being fully ejected from that previous timeline. So of course, as you are ejected from that out of alignment timeline, you're going to feel a little bit chaotic, a little bit ungrounded temporarily, but ultimately this is actually going to fully align you with a brand new higher vibrational timeline that is going to set a trajectory to victory for you, whatever that looks like for you. No longer being held back by those obstacles emotionally or materially that may have plagued you in the past, because we have the Six of Wands here really representing a triumph. This also can represent fame, getting a lot of support, even being a celebrity or someone of high status. if this is something you desire, if you are someone who is in the public eye or who desires to be in the public eye, I feel that everything you are going through now is actually energetically prepping you for that kind of success, to grow that material support, to be in the spotlight in some sense, that will be applying to some listening. But one major thing that's going to have to be overcome with the Three of Cups reverse is that you may be feeling both very different and possibly isolated socially and platonically from people around you. You were meant to stand out. Whoever I'm speaking to here, if you feel very different from the people that are doing things around you, from people socially, if you feel socially isolated, it's actually because in a sense you've been selected, or your soul has selected this path that is very unique, but also has a very high reward associated with it, in the sense that you will be able to achieve a kind of spiritual empowerment and a kind of level of heightened vibration that most are never capable of achieving, because they are so tied in socially to what other people think and say about them. And what I'm getting is that in this phase of your life, as whatever you are doing in the physical world, particularly for those of you who are sharing online, who might be beginning to be in the public eye or sharing on social media, who have a business, whatever you're doing, it feels like something you're doing is making waves. It may be attracting attention from people, both positive and negative. Some of this could even look like people gossiping about you, people talking about you. And I feel your guides saying you have to become comfortable with people reacting to your energy, because you are now exuding this very powerful energy. But I do again see this immense success from continuing to have the courage to overcome that fear of what anyone else is thinking of you or of what you're creating in this world, and continuing to shine your beautiful energy, your beautiful light, regardless. Because with the Wheel of Fortune upright, I also see you personally, Divine Feminine, being in a very lucky energy. When I say lucky, though, of course, there's really no such thing as luck. It's all about energetic alignment. This is really you aligning with a higher timeline through the upheaval that you have been willing to experience and undergo in order to align with that higher version of yourself. So wow, very powerful messages coming through personally on your energy, Divine Feminine. In the extended version of the reading, I will be channeling more messages from your spirit guides, your higher self, as well as channeling into any energies that may be attached to you at this time. This is a really interesting portion of the Patreon readings where we tap into anyone that might be sending you energy, might be thinking about you, or could be connected to you spiritually or mentally in some way. So if you do feel guided to the extended reading, the link to that is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. But for now, I am going to be sharing one final card from the Rumi Oracle. And this card is Whirling Goddess. Lose your head. Not a single thread that has a head can go through the eye of the needle. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, this oracle brings you a message. You are at the point of growth where your mind can hold you back rather than urge you forward. If you have, like so many, used your mind to support you, to shore up your sense of self in the world, and to gain a sense of certainty about how the world works, then this is no easy leap. It will seem as though you are being asked to pass through the keyhole. Of course, your mind will stop and argue for all the reasons why the door should be opened instead of remaining closed, making the task seem so much harder than it needs to be. But this is the mind in resistance. You are being asked to dance rather than understand, to lay the thoughts to rest and to come alive. It is the bravest, most trusting soul that dares put the mind to one side and say, tonight we dance, my heart and I, in the great rousing music of the beloved's beating heart, and I will not miss one step, and to awaken the next day and do that all over again, and again and again. Know nothing and dance, sweet soul, for all will unveil itself to you in perfect harmony and timing. Your heart shall create the steps in response to the music of the spheres happening now, alive and spontaneous and free. So that feels like a really beautiful place to close this reading. I just want to take a moment and say I am so appreciative to all of you here. You are all co-creators of this reading simply by sharing your unique, powerful energy and frequency with the reading today. If anything here did connect with you in a personal way, I would love to hear from you in the comments under the video. And of course, if you would now like to continue with me over in our beautiful Soul Tribe on Patreon.
The debut in 1995, the author of the present work wrote, "My name is Jean Dubuis. I am, this present day that I write, aged 76 years old, and I have a practice of esotericism of more than half a century. My esoteric researches started when I was 12. Our consciousness, life, matter, the being issues from the void and creates consciousness. As soon as consciousness is, it creates life for its own need for evolution. Life creates matter and behavior. 2. Creation, the macrocosm, nature. 3. Creation, the microcosm, man. 4. Passive symbolism. 5. Active symbolism, the word. 6. Numbers and cycles. 7. Meditation, prayer, ritual. 8. Powers. 9. The secret sciences. 10. Universal justice. 11. The 7 commandments of the farmer freight temitatis. 12. Service and the invisible order. It was our intention that this class should last for 12 months only, and not for years. Therefore, it may seem very concentrated at times. This difficulty will promptly disappear with the work, which consists in rereading the content of the lessons often and in actually performing the exercises which are suggested. The goal of the class is not to pass on to you a mini encyclopedia of esoteric knowledge, but to provide a basis, a springboard, toward the individual inner path. For this reason, apart from the material on the cultural aspects of esotericism, the class offers a personal method of initiation that strives to detach itself from ancient or modern egregores. This method, which includes meditation exercises, is based on a numeric and geometric symbolism of a universal nature which, as a matter of fact, renders it less prone to the sway of the various egregores. See lesson #1. This condition assists the student in acquiring the necessary inner freedom. Whoever takes this class and does not wish to undertake the proposed initiatory work is free to act as he pleases. The present lesson develops a knowledge which is neither alchemical nor Kabbalistic, but which is in accordance with the knowledge coming from many years of operative work in these disciplines and others. This class won't deal with a specific discipline, except in the case of examples. Let's also specify that we cannot avoid presenting elements which already exist in the other classes or in articles of the newsletter, The Little Philosopher, or The Stone. It should be noted that the concepts developed in this class are essentially of Western origin and more specifically Mediterranean. While you study, do not lose sight of the fact that there are 2 complementary esoteric aspects. The intellectual aspect, which permits us to sow seeds into the unconscious, the inner aspect, which is the source of the knowledge coming to us. This knowledge can only be transmitted through the path said to be, of the heart. There are 2 tools to be used in the study of esotericism, the brain and the heart. The brain sows, the heart harvests. Ora et labora. Out of unity you arise, the return to unity is your destiny. The mind discovers the path of return while the heart provides the key to each stage along the way. Dear friend, basic esoteric principles. What is esotericism? What do we mean by esoteric? This is the first point we need to examine. Etymologically, this word means inner, or that which is reserved for the adepts, for those inside, as opposed to what is public, what is done outside, and therefore is exoteric. However, this is clearly an insufficient definition to provide you with a satisfactory idea of the esoteric reality. As we do not wish to use an a priori definition, we should agree, right at the beginning, that it is impossible to define this term at this time because the esoteric experience which transforms an a priori definition into personally experienced knowledge cannot be offered at the beginning of the initiatory path. Glimpses of the origin of the being. It is impossible to be a student and later an esoteric adept without accepting, in the beginning, several axioms. The truth of these axioms is progressively unveiled through inner contacts. The first point. The Absolute is the origin of the whole. The second point. The essence of the Absolute is the source of man. Third point. The whole manifestation only has one aim, to make out of zero, which is the seed of man in the Absolute, the infinite. Starting with the Absolute, the hierarchy of forces and energies in a descending order is as follows: being, consciousness, life, matter. The being issues from the void and creates consciousness. As soon as consciousness is, it creates life for its own need for evolution. Life creates matter as a field for the experiments it needs to conduct. These points will be developed later. The interest in esotericism. If you are interested in esotericism, it is because you feel a certain inner yearning, a certain necessity to understand things, and to understand yourself. This yearning indicates that you have passed the initiation of the nadir, the moment when involution leads you to the densest point of matter. See Lesson 3. This search for knowledge, for a coherent understanding of the world, cannot be satisfied by science or religion. Therefore we turn to esoteric disciplines in the hope of finding the answer to our inner quest, which is more or less unconscious when it first arises. In effect, and you can verify this, esotericism leads, step by step, to an experiential certitude, to a coherent and satisfactory knowledge of the world. In the beginning, however, you need a freely given faith and trust as the driving elements of your work. This faith gradually disappears to be replaced in turn by knowledge. Be very cautious while you move in the domain of faith because, while it can be a motivating force in the beginning, it can also lead you to accept inconsistent ideas and the worst superstitions. Physical consciousness and superconsciousness, in the esoteric sciences, regardless of your choice of discipline, each must find his own truth by breaking through one's inner barriers. In the profane world, man's psyche is divided into two zones, the conscious and the unconscious. In fact, the latter is not unconscious. In man, the unconscious is the superconsciousness, the higher self, which is permanently in contact with the universal whole. Necessities of involution have constructed barriers which, in every being, separate, more or less firmly, the different levels of consciousness existing between the higher self and the physical consciousness. The true initiation, the true aim of esotericism is to first render these barriers transparent and later eliminate them as barriers and re-establish the connection with the superconsciousness. The intellect, a helper or an obstacle? The intellect is the first problem the beginner has to face. Some esoteric schools say it is an obstacle for the initiatory path, but they use it anyway. The problem is that the knowledge and the methods which permit the penetration of the inner domain are transmitted and acquired through the channel of the intellect. This problem becomes a real hindrance when the intellect ceases to be a medium and instead becomes a goal or an end in itself. It should be clear that, on the one hand, the language of the physical intellect which sustains the consciousness of this world is not the language of the superconscious. On the other hand, if we wish to begin a dialogue between these two levels of consciousness, we must rely on symbolism, which is the only thing that can cross the inner barriers at the beginning of the path. The principle of this dialogue is as follows. The intellect transmits or attempts to transmit mental images, such as it understands them on its own level, to the inner consciousness. The latter digests them and sends them back while also striving to transmit its own truth to the physical intellect of man. Thus, little by little, the effect of the inner barriers diminishes and there can become open borders which are crossed without a passport. This implies that the work should be done methodically. Conditions for esoteric work. A. The choice of the time. The best time for esoteric study is the evening just before going to bed. When you cannot study, then mentally and silently review the previous studies. These should be the last thoughts of the day before you fall asleep. This is important because the moment of passage from the waking state to the sleeping state is the moment where the inner barriers partially move away, in a physical psychical sense. Conversely, when we wake up, the barriers rise, in a physical psychical sense. Do not think about the problems of the new day, and try to remain in a mentally void state for a moment, so you can receive the inner message. Note your physical interpretation.
Convent, what's up? Welcome to my channel. Am I tripping or not, Tarot? My name is Cockfrost, but you can call me the Ghetto Nun. So I'm here to do Right Back Monday. Yes, I am. We'll do a May preview because I think May is in a week. I don't even know, G. My time all off. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but I'm pretty sure May starts in a week. Okay, so we'll do a preview and see what's up. I do cuss in my readings and give no fucks about it. So if you do, please get the fuck on. I do start all of my cards upright in my deck. I don't believe in starting out with reversals because that's some bullshit. Also, I did pre-shuffle, but I did not lay any cards down just yet. We're going to do it together. Please keep in mind this may or may not resonate with your sign or situation, nor do I give a fuck. Info for private readings will be below the video. Please take the time to check out our community board. It's like the farmers market for all the nuns and high priests where they have their businesses, purposes, gifts, etc., posted. If you'd like to submit your business for the bulletin board, please check the info in the description box below the video. It's currently under construction. If you find that the convent is not for you, please look for the nearest exit mark. Get the fuck on, watch it on the way out, hit that you'll be back in turn. Thank you to everyone for all the bookings, donations, likes, subscribes, comments, shares, purchases to my website, and pledges to my Patreon. I love you. So yes, reminder, my prices go up at the beginning of May for bookings, okay? Okay. That was weird. My purse just fell over. That's crazy. That's crazy talking about money and shit and my purse fell over. But okay. So yes, just letting y'all know. Any other announcements? I don't think so. They were trying to guide me to do a love reading, y'all, on some real shit, and I'm like, I ain't really feeling it. But I do feel like love is in the air, convent. Honestly, I do feel like it's in the air for a lot of you. So if it comes out, cool. But it's just I'm not in the mood. To be honest with you. So it was supposed to be. So I got y'all on the next round for that. But yeah, no. Okay. Unless it comes out. But I do feel that for you guys. Or like connecting with your soul tribe. I've been picking that up a lot too. Or just ending up in the places or the place you're supposed to be. I feel like a lot of you guys are headed that way, convent. In May. All right, give me some messages for the convent. What's up with them? What can they expect in May? All right, you got the tree. Let them go. Damn. Okay. And then you got the lioness. You've earned all your stripes. So something's coming to an end, convent, obviously. A lot of you are single. Some of you guys are worried about being single for the rest of your life. I don't see that happening. Even if you are single, I mean, it's because, I mean, you know, like I feel like if you're chosen to be single for the rest of your life or that's the space you're in, you're happy with that. It's like I've been through all the bullshit. I'm good in life. I like where I am and all that shit. I feel like everybody's kind of set where they want to be as far as with who they are. Okay. Some people do want a relationship and I see that out here too. Convent. I see you guys letting addictions go, some bad habits go. It could be a bad attitude, you know what I mean, or just kind of being stubborn. I see stubbornness being let go. This feels like a lot of things within self, convent, that you're walking away from. You've earned all your stripes. Some tests have been passed. Some of you guys have been exercising restraint in regards to your money, energy, time. This feels like you've been doing a good job at. So in May, you're going to see the fruits of your labor is what this feels like. So it's like almost the stretch. What are they saying? The last stretch, home stretch or something like that. I see you relaxing, Convent. Some of you guys are getting like new bed something. It could be a new bed partner. Shit, I don't know. I was talking about bedspreads and comforters and shit like that, but they said a bed partner. So shit, maybe, okay? I do see some of y'all sleeping with someone, for sure. I see you comfortable in your body and your skin. Like a lot of you guys are starting to just be okay with who you are. You know what I mean? How God made you. And I mean, that's all you can do, you know? Yeah. Some of you guys are moving, going to another home, going into a relationship, leaving another relationship to go into something else, leaving a job to go to another job. Whatever you're leaving, you're going into something similar, is what I'm picking up on, but better, but something that makes you feel more comfortable. You fought through whatever this is over here that you're letting go in order to get to whatever this is you're about to be ushered into. 1994 could be significant to somebody. Give me another one for the comment. Yeah, a lot of you guys are going to end up exactly where you're supposed to be, comment. Even if you weren't trying to get, I mean, even if you went the wrong way, like you detoured and happened to make a left when you were supposed to make a right, somehow you're being shifted back to the right. Because this is giving me Jonah energy when God spit Jonah out on the beach. You know what I mean? When he refused to go to Nineveh, God still had him go to Nineveh. It's like, well, we'll just swallow you up and spit your ass out. Like you're still going. So something is destined for you, Convent. I do feel like a lot of you guys are on your destined path. Even if you feel like you're going the wrong way, it's like it's not. It may look like it may feel like it, but it's not. I feel like it's just uncomfortable. It's strange. When I was shuffling this Marvel deck, Doctor Strange kept coming out. So it's just a weird time, G. Pretty much. May be May. Yeah, I don't know. May be a weird month, but I feel like it's really not. I feel like this is picking up on like right now, the end of April, going into May. I'm gonna put two more here just to see, because I feel like this is like the end of April here. So something's almost over. Give me another one here for the comment. As far as something you may be going through that you're ready to be over with. Give me another one here. Sun, paint the sun back into your sky. I told you. I can feel it. Number 11. I can feel it. I feel like you're starting to connect things, Convent, or you will. Like connecting the dots or connecting like what you see. Like things that you see. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting that damn mic. Things that you see, like synchronicity signs, like you're going to start connecting the dots about why things are happening. You're also going to start meeting, connecting to things, people, places, and things that make you happy. And you're going to start doing them and won't feel guilty about them if you have been. Some of y'all just don't give a fuck. Okay, like I don't give a damn. I don't feel guilty about that shit. Some of y'all do. I just see you doing what it is you enjoy doing, whether it be reading a book, sitting on the beach, walking, painting, artistry, whatever. It's some type of recreational something here that you may have picked up. It could be exercise, or you will. You may just be enjoying nature. And man, it's beautiful outside, G. It's beautiful outside. So you may have been walking or just getting out lately, enjoying spring. May is telling me, it's telling me that May is going to be even more beautiful than April. Okay. You may not feel like April's been beautiful, but I feel like nature-wise, April's been beautiful. Maybe as far as what's going on in your life, maybe not so much. But as far as the outside, like God's creation, it's beautiful. You're going to marvel in this in May. That's what's up. You got the beach, the sun. The beach, the sun. Yes. The sun, the desert. I don't know what I'm saying, G. I meant to say the beach and the desert. Let's move on, okay? Or I confuse my motherfucking self. Something's about to change, Convent, for the better. You should already be seeing this because she's starting to paint the sun back into the sky. So there's some glimmer of hope. You should already be seeing this, or because this is almost giving me a 7-day reading because May kind of starts in 7 days, right? So let's say by like mid next week, or mid this week, you'll start to see a change in something in a positive way. Give me one more. Yeah, stars. telling you, you can manifest your every wish. I'm telling you. May's gonna be good, y'all. Look at what the 5. May. Told you. So something's about to end, Convent. I'm telling you, some turmoil, some drama, something that's been like fucking with you, messing up shit, possibly putting you in a depressed state or making you want to like kind of be by yourself. All this was supposed to happen, just so you know. Or they're telling me you had to fend for yourself. So a lot of you guys felt like you had to do something like alone by yourself. It's so you could let something go and prove to yourself how strong you are. I feel like that time is going to come to an end where you feel like, you know what I mean? Damn, I always have to fill in the blank. That time is about to be over and something great is about to happen. But it's because you did something about it. Because she's painting her own sun into the sky. It's not anybody else doing it for her. So you're going to make yourself happy. It's like doing what the fuck it is it takes for you to get what you want. Okay? Or to make yourself happy or just doing what it is you're called to do. And you do it. You can manifest your every wish. Something you guys are working on or trying to achieve, it's working, G. You're going to get this shit. Even after a lot of resistance, because I still see at the beginning of May, there is some resistance with you manifesting this wish. So, but I see people looking up to you here, Convent, like somebody's watching you do something, build something, create something, grow, change your life around something. People are admiring this about you. It could be your own children, family, friends. I don't know. Some of you guys will be losing some people due to this new change in your life. Like, you know, your spirituality may be pushing people away or it just has you separated from people, period. You know this already for the group I'm talking to. You already have come to terms with this already. Because people are already resistant towards you or kind of being kind of like, you know, like being assholes. Like, you know, you can tell people are upset with you. The energy is kind of like upset with you. Even though that's not the way people are coming off to you in your face, you could feel it. But it's because of this change that you're making, Convent, okay? Some people going to be sad, disappointed that you're doing better. It's all types of, it's hateration. Virgo had this shit. Yeah, hateration, holleration in the dancery, right? On that Mary J. Blige shit. But it's because you're changing something. Like, you know, you wanted to change in your life, so you're doing it. That's what this is. This is all you doing this shit. I see you guys making a decision like I'm going to be happy. Or some of y'all are choosing to see something for what it is too, Convent. It may, some of you guys are going to take some blinders off or some rose-colored glasses and be like, that's just what the fuck it is, G. Some people are going to choose to not see this. Whatever this is, it could be the change in you. You know, like some people, like they'll see you changing, like you just aren't the same way anymore, and they like refuse to see it, and they just kind of still treat you the same way, or think they can come at you the same way. Somebody's gonna refuse to see you, the new you, the divine you, the high vibing you, or a few people may. These are the people that are gonna get upset with you and play mind games with your ass. Okay, it's like they know what's going on. It's just that's just the way they react to your growth, is what they're saying in May. Okay, so be aware of that petty ass bullshit. Yeah, a lot of you guys are seeking something, like wondering where it is, like what's going on, or trying to figure out what makes you happy. I feel like you're in the process of creating it. You may be in the process of finding out what makes you happy, who makes you happy. You know what I mean? This type of stuff. I feel like you're in a discovery phase, Convent, a little bit, but more so about self, because you're always looking out for other people. This group I'm talking to, you're always worried about other people and what's going on. You know what I mean? And keeping shit cool. But it's like you really don't know much about what makes you happy, because you feel like making other people makes me happy. But I feel like it's deeper than that. You may have to sit and think and figure out. You may be in this contemplation mode, like, what does make me happy? Like, you know what I mean? What do I enjoy? A lot of reading, a lot of researching going on, Convent, in May. Okay. People mad that you motherfuckers read and shit, and for real, that you learn, that some of you guys are getting smarter. And I don't know if this is like, I mean, of course it's book smarts, but it's something with like the world or nature or something like that, or your higher self, your spiritual self. It's like you're acquiring ancient knowledge. I feel like it can't be found in no book, because look at her. I feel like it can't be found in a book. It's like deep conversations with people that you may be meeting, like people on your level and shit, but she is also reading a book too. So I feel like it's a bunch of just shit going on, like intellects, sapiosexuals here is what this feels like too. I don't know if you can see that, but I ain't about to fuss with it, okay? All right. I don't really want to call signs out with this comment. I see influencers, celebrities, or people just well known. I see you guys some kind of wish. If you're in the public eye, let's say that. If you're known by the public comment in some type of way, I see something good happening. So this could be collaborations. I see like artwork. Somebody's designing an album cover or something like that, or a cover for some music. I see that working out very well. Like I said, collaborations and shit like that. I do see a group breaking up, a music group or some people that I don't know. I don't know, some shit like that. But it's because somebody wants to do something different though. It's like, this doesn't make me happy. I want to do this, so I'm going to go solo, or I'm going to do this. And it works. You can manifest your every wish. It's Beyonce energy out here. Okay. As far as Beyonce Destiny's Child energy. Like, I don't think I want to be with the group no more. I think I want to be a star. Boo. So I will paint the sun into my own sky and shit, basically. I mean, it's kind of this type of energy going on, y'all. So, I mean, it's like you're taking a leap of faith, a step, or some type of, they said, a daring act to do something that you've never done before, but it's to go after something that you want, or you see something, or something's possible. So you've been meeting a lot of resistance. You still gonna meet more in May. You are. But the resistance is that comes with the change. You know what I mean? Like, there's always resistance when there comes, even you resisting the change yourself. So this could be you fighting yourself, but I also see other people. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of in awe about what's going on in your life right now. Some of y'all, like I said, somebody's gonna be in awe that you're in a relationship, or that you end up moving, or that you end up going back to school, or that you're separated from. There's something that you're going to do. You're going to sacrifice something for your happiness, G. You're already in the process of doing it. I just feel like a lot of y'all don't know, or you do know, one or the other. I don't know. Yeah, you getting your groove back. You hear that? Guy, my guy. So something about masculine energy, getting your groove back. That's what's up. Put something on the tree. Let them go. Why is this here for the comment? That's way too many, but we'll take Valkyrie because she came out first. Dr. Doom came out. Yeah, we'll take Valkyrie. It says you can because you must. Exactly, G. This feels like sacrifice convent, but you're already going through this. Some of y'all really do feel alone. Like, you know what I mean? You're capable and able-bodied to do whatever this is, or like go through whatever this is you may be going through. You're definitely capable of doing it. But I see you like worried about something, convent. But this is already going on. I stress that because by the end, you've manifested something. So you're already like the hardest part. You're already in it. You're either in the hardest part, or the hardest part is about to be over for a lot of you right now. I see a lot of you guys wishing you could change something or undo something, rewind something. Don't we all, G? Don't we all? But that's not possible. I just feel like you're going to set better boundaries. Something about a lesson being learned at the, for April was like a lesson learned. So April showers bring May flowers, they said. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still say that. Well, you just said it. But yeah, no, I still kind of live by that. Like April's always emotional. April showers, right? Crying. If you've been going through something, bring May flowers. Something blooms from those tears in May, convent. I'm really picking that up heavy. Yeah, look at all that blue. Something about emotion. You guys may not be feeling it right now. Yeah, something you may have built may have gone up in flames, G. Relationship, job, something you may have invested in. It's just burnt to smithers is what this says. And I feel like there's nothing you can do to salvage that. That's why it says let them go. It's like, what if it was fruit on that tree? It's like, are you really going to get burned to go get that shit? You got to let it go. So of course you would be emotional, right? This is the young, sad, and blue energy here. This Valkyrie card keeps saying Viking. So I feel like even when she's holding this, whatever this is in her hand, it's giving me Viking energy. So it's almost like you're sailing the seas and lost the whole crew and you like the only person left on the ship. It's giving me that. It's not funny, but it's like who can sail the seas and make it to shore? You can. Convent. You're about to like be victorious in something. There's something that's about to be completely over. You're gonna be okay. I promise you, G. That's what this is. Even though you meet the resistance at the end, there's nothing they can do about it. You know, it's like a bunch of people standing in front of the door, but you still get in anyway. You know what I mean? It's like they're outside. You just gotta walk through those people. So it could be anxiety about passing through a door, passing through a new phase of life. This could be getting in a relationship, starting a new, whatever it is, it's good though, Convent. Okay, whatever it is, it's like you rather go forward than backwards. I do see that for sure. Whatever this is you've been waiting on, it's probably scary to you because it's that good, it's that new, it's that different, it's something you want. And I feel like the resistance is like from the past, they said. Yeah, resistance from the past. You had to go this way. Whatever's going on with you right now, it had to be done this way. It couldn't be done any other way. It's like to prove how strong you are. This says you earned all your stripes. So it's like a dumbed down situation would be someone gave you a car as opposed to you working for your car. You know what I mean? To buy your own car. It's like somebody that gave you a car, that person's probably going to crash that car more than likely, or not be as responsible with that car as they would if they worked for that car. It's this type of energy. So whatever God has given you, he made you work for this shit. He made you go through like fire. You know what I mean? Well, they say refined in the fire. Yeah, he made you go through the fire just to test you. And you came out even better. The sun and the sun. You came out shining. You real motherfucking gold. That's what this is. You the shit that don't turn your neck green and shit. You know what I mean? Turn your fingers green and shit. You real damn gold. But it had to be put through the fire. So it had to go this way, Confident. That's what's up. That's why I feel like a lot of you guys, I mean, I do see a relationship out here, but even if you weren't in one or are not in one or not looking for one, whatever you're going through right now, whatever this like trial and tribulation is, when this is over, you'll still be happy where you are. Like I think, damn, I keep doing that shit. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting that fucking mic is here. I'm sorry. What I was saying is, in case you didn't hear that, because my elbow was on the mic, I was saying, even if you end up being like single, right? Whatever trial and tribulation you're going through, you're going to be happy in whatever spot you're in by the end of this trial and tribulation. So if it's like, damn, I went through all this, lost my job, whatever, it's like by the end of this, you're going to be like, I still feel good. Whether I'm single, whether I'm with someone or whatever, you're going to be very thankful, very grateful at the beginning of May, Convent. I'm telling you, G, you will. No matter what your social status is, your relationship status is, they said you're going to be happy in May about where you are in life because you made a lot of changes within yourself. So it feels like for those that are looking for a relationship, it's probably coming, but you had to be tested. You know what I mean? Like, you know, can you really take care of yourself? Say you do get with somebody and something happens. You know what I mean? Are you able to take care of yourself, or are you able to be strong enough to be able to be a partner, a spouse to someone else and separate from? It's a lot of lessons here. I ain't about to go through all of them, Convent. But that's basically what this is, G. Whatever it is you guys are trying to manifest or bring in, that's what God is testing you with. So it's like, I want to be on my own and be independent or whatever. You know what I mean? Say somebody's going through that, or I'm ready to be divorced, or I'm ready to start my own business and shit like that, right? There's some type of test that you're going through to see if you're really ready for that shit. And not go back to your old vices, because this says let them go. So when times get hard, or when it doesn't work, or something kind of, you know, it could fail. Let's just be honest. Something fails miserably. You know what I mean? This type of shit is like, what are you going to do? Go forward or go backwards? A lot of y'all keep moving forward. Like, I guess I'm just going to paint the sun. Like, I'm going to make it daytime then. This is like you define something. Define what couldn't be done. You're going to do it, G. What they said you couldn't do, you're going to do that shit, Convent. On some real shit. That's what this is in May. Mm-hmm. Vengeance will be mine, saith the Lord, though. But this says Ghost Rider. I see writers out here. I mean, obviously, but I mean writers, like ghost writers. So some of you guys write for artists, or I don't know. I see that picking up, I guess. All right. Look at that. Look at that. Them two. I'm telling you, I do feel like it's a real. I knew they were gonna do that shit anyway. I'm like, I don't really want to. It's coming out on top of the 4 too. So there is some type of foundation forming with you and someone else, convent. So some of y'all tried to avoid someone. This is like trying to avoid being with someone, like how I just did, right? Like, no, I don't want to do that, God. I think I'm going to do my own thing. And he spit me right the fuck back out again. Like, no, you're going to tell them, right? Ugh. But okay. So some of you guys ran away from a relationship, or someone ran away from you, convent. This person may be being brought back into your life, or you may be being brought back into someone's life. Doesn't necessarily mean that this is someone you've been with, but let's just say someone, you met someone. You and someone engaged in some, like you met. Like, oh, what's up? And God, and then y'all like, all right, then deuces, right? And walked away. And God like, no, y'all supposed to talk and get deeper than that. And maybe both of y'all like, I'm cool. It's like somebody like, I'm gonna mind my business, and the other person just swam away. I feel like God is bringing two people back together. Something is supposed to happen between you and someone else. Now, it doesn't have to be a love thing. This could be families coming back together. This could be some job you're supposed to work at, or like you can keep getting like nudges. Say like there's some job or something that God keeps showing you, like some, I don't know, you keep seeing it on LinkedIn or something, and you keep like scrolling past that shit. And every time you log on LinkedIn, you keep seeing that shit. It's like he keeps throwing something in your face. Like, no, this is supposed to happen. You're going to notice. You probably already have been noticing this in regards to your own life, as far as which way you're supposed to go. But in regards to love, I feel like you and someone else are being brought back together, as far as this was supposed to have some type of, I don't know. It says let love in. Shit, basically. I mean, shit, y'all supposed to love on each other, I guess. Shit. Somebody's still holding on to someone, or two people are still holding on to each other energetically, for sure. But they are acting like they don't care. You and someone else are acting like y'all don't care about each other, or one person, I don't know. But somebody lays in bed and thinks about the other person, for sure, G. Okay? About what it'll be like to be with this person. Yeah, I've been hearing this song a lot. That's playing. It's called I think it's New Edition, I'm Coming Home. But I've been hearing this song a lot. So yeah, 4 of Wands. I don't know, convent. I see, or shit, some of y'all are moving somewhere. I see you moving by the water. Some of you guys are moving to like offshore, they said. So I don't know, shit. Damn. Look at Aunt May. I ain't never seen her in here. Shit. Home is never too far away. Yeah. Some of y'all feel like you are getting too old for a relationship, or too old for something, but I don't feel like you are. Home is never, this is like you never too old to learn type energy here, convent. Or you never too old to fall in love, or to go out there and take a chance and do something. It's something like that. It's like you had to let go, because it says let them go. This could be of some belief that you have. Like they're gone, or I'll never be, or this will never happen, or I could never. It's this type of shit. I feel like this idea keeps being reintroduced to you, or someone keeps being reintroduced to you, some idea, some relationship, or is being reintroduced to someone. You and someone are definitely being reintroduced, G. Even if I move Rogue and Gambit over here with the 11, with the sun, I feel like both people had to recognize something. So you and someone else may have to have gone through some like I said, some tests. It doesn't have to be romantic though. It could be like maybe you weren't ready for school, you weren't ready for this career, or they weren't ready for you. You know what I mean? Like this place wasn't ready for you yet. Both people had to evolve, or both places or something had to evolve and then come back together. So something y'all may have counted out is not necessarily counted out, but it was made to look that way. So you focus on yourself and then come back to it later. Whenever you take a test, they say, don't get stuck on the answer. Move on to the next one. And if you have time after you finish the test, go back and check the other ones that you know what I mean, had issues with. But keep moving. This is the energy that I'm getting for you. Like you've done that though. I feel like you're coming back to like kind of close up some loose ends or things maybe you didn't understand. Maybe you ain't going to answer the question. Maybe you just don't understand it. Maybe you don't even have time to go back to those questions that you had to skip because you didn't understand. But I feel like you still passed. It's almost like you got more right than wrong. or you got them all right and just a couple that you couldn't get to because you didn't understand, but you didn't get stuck on it. It's something like that. You still pass some test or you still do something. Oh shit. Okay, Booski. Look at her damn name, G. They said look again, what? What? May. Told you. Yeah, I see remodeling out here. You guys could be painting, redoing your home. I see refurbishing of something, new floors. I see nurseries being decorated for new little babies coming into the world. All type of stuff, convent. Yeah, some of you guys will be bringing home a baby in May. Congratulations, Booski. I knew you. This is a really good school. We got a nursery and everything. Yeah. A lot of little babies. Or these are people coming together and you guys will like have a child eventually. Like spouses coming together and y'all will be making babies in May or something like that. I see sons being born in May. This is a son that's about to be born in May. Yeah, a lot of sun energy here. Okay. Put one on this sun. Paint the sun back into your sky. You guys could be filling up your home with a lot of plants, or you would do good too, like plants, fresh flowers, things like that, convent. You guys could have fish or just a lot of like life in your home. Pets, of course, children and things like that, but nature. I see you letting the sun or the moon shine in. For those that have a view, I see you keeping your windows open or your blinds open in May and letting like just looking at the stars, the moon. I mean, it's real like it's giving me like an appreciative feeling, like but for nature, convent, you know, if that makes any sense. Oh, let me take the sweater off. It's hot as fuck. I'm having trouble articulating this reading. But it's mostly because you're in transition is what this is. Because this does not feel good in the beginning. You know what I mean? With this whole let it burn and let them go and all this other shit. And you've been spit out by the well on the beach. And then all of a sudden it changes and shit. You know, so everybody's situation is different. This could be somebody who doesn't feel well, who could have been sick, dealing with the illness or something. And it's like they just kind of let go and let God and started enjoying the life that they have, whatever God is blessing them with. And they started being happier. And all of a sudden they start healing. Star card. It's like something like, it's like you had to go this way. You know what I mean? Like you had to go through the illness, through the sickness and shit to get better, to appreciate your body and good health. You know what I mean? I don't know why they do it that way to us. Like, why can't you just teach me another way? Like at the gym. You know what I mean? About good health and all that. It's like, no, you really need to know. So that's why we, you know what I mean? Gave you cancer, lupus, fibroids, prostate shit, high blood pressure, heart. It's like so you'll appreciate something. It's a tough road, G. It is. Yeah, a good guard dog is hard to find, is what it says. Yeah, you strong enough. They giving me like warrior energy. I've been picking up on like boot camp or testing energy, or like you're strong enough to like heavy is the head that wears the crown energy lately, convent for you guys. And that's what this is. So what do you think that means? To whom much is given, much is required. It's like all this energy, and now you've passed something or you will, and something's coming back around to you. Yeah, they playing keep sweat, blood, sweat, and tears. I'm telling you, convent. This is like putting your feet to the fire and you. It's like walking across coals. They're showing me you walking across like hot ass coals or some shit like that. And I don't know why they have you doing it. You know what I mean? Maybe you're being initiated into something. That's what it feels like, an initiation, convent. Yes. Thank you. It feels like half and half here. So yeah, a lot of y'all are being initiated into something new. This is something you definitely have wanted to be a part of, either in the past, and you gave up on that shit as far as I'm not going to focus on it, but you were told to if that's the case. Some of y'all were told to walk away from someone, someplace, something, even though it's destined to be yours, G. But it's because you had to be initiated to get it first. You can't just be walking in like that, or you can't just get rich like that, or live like this or open up a business like this or be in a relationship like this. Like it has to go this way. Pay your dues. Yeah, feels like you done paid your dues. See? That's what's up, convent.
Family, what y'all got going on tonight? I ain't doing that, but just chilling out. Y'all can't see me, I'm too black, huh? Hold on a second. What you eating for dinner? I'm just cooling out. I'm just cooling out. Ain't doing nothing too much. I was just playing this little reading here, then I'm gonna call it a night. Seafood boil, that sounds pretty good. Homemade what? What's that? Aldis, what is that? I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna give y'all a little information. See here. See, can I find a video on astrology so y'all can know, the deeper context of it. What's that? It is the grocery store. All this. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, I heard of all this before. We don't have one here, but I think they have one in Atlanta. I went to all these when I was up in Chicago. They have them down in Florida. It was buffering. It been clouding up like it was gonna rain all day. Here, since you in here, let me find you a reading while I'm looking for that.
Hello, my beautiful Cancers. Welcome to your bi-weekly love forecast horoscope. This is actually going to include astrology as well in the beginning. April 25th to May 8th. I want to thank you guys so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and thank you to my members. I really appreciate all of your support. And if you'd like a live personal reading with me, go to my website, JenniferWalkerIsThe.com, or check out the description box below. And if you're a fan of the mysteries or unsolved true crime stories, you may want to check out my second channel, JWZ Mysteries, and all the information is in the description box below. All right, so we're going to cover astrology first, then we're going to go into your love life. And if you guys like it this way, you want me to continue this way, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments below. All right, so the dates we have to watch out for, right? Right now we're in Mercury retrograde, which I'm sure you guys are feeling it just as well as I am. My clock I had to replace my clock, right? Electronic issues, right? And then stuff comes up in the past. Yep. And then communication stuff, miscommunication. Oh
Yep.
yeah, people from the past.
That's why this internet. That's why I've
that
been
hasn't
buffering
happened
because
for
it's
me yet, but
retrograde.
things from the past, like memories of the past, or things that I was looking
Yeah, I
at,
know.
looking into. Those things have come up.
We have saved a lot.
I've come across stuff from the past. And we also got this lunar eclipse coming up on May 5th to the 6th. Obviously, we're back into tower season, as I'd like to call it, which eclipses are. They're massive changes in your life that you don't have control of, and they just happen, right? It forces you to change. So if there's something that's stagnant in your life that, the universe wants you to change, it's going to change. So, and we just got over the solar eclipse, right? Now we're going into the lunar eclipse, and we got this Mercury retrograde. So we got a lot going on here. So let's see how this astrology is going to affect you. Don't worry, we don't have any charts, so you guys can just check the signs you always check. All right, so how is Cancer's astrology going to be affected for April 25th to May 8th? Show me the cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. All right, we got the Queen of Cups, we got the Hangman energy, and we got the Page of Swords. And all the decks, guys, I know you're going to ask me, all the decks I'm using today can be found at my website or in the bottom of the description of this video. So this video has a description of all the card decks I use, and if you can't find it there, definitely it's on my website, because obviously the description, you can only put so much on there. All right, so how is Cancer's astrology being affected for April 25th to May 8th? Show me cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to. Okay, let's see. We got Taurus. We got the South Node. What did I say? Stuff from the past. Mm-hmm.
I'm a Taurus South
That's
Node.
the K2 energy. And Virgo.
But
and it's interesting. There are very similar signs coming up. So what is Taurus? Let's talk about what Taurus is.
See, in Vedic astrology, I'm a Cancer rising in Saturn. But in tropical, which is what we use now, I'm a Leo rising in Saturn. But you need to know, I keep telling y'all need to know y'all need to know all your placements in both astrology, Vedic and in tropical. Because see, tropical, I look at the tropical as your ego. In the Vedic astrology, I consider that like your soul, because it's more in depth. But I'll tell you how you can know whatever, like I'm a Capricorn sun in tropical, but in Vedic, I'm a Sagittarius sun. So in Vedic, you just go one sign prior to what you are. Like say you're say you're a Cancer. What's before Cancer? Gemini, right? So in Vedic, you would be a Gemini sun. Yeah, that is the way it goes. Like I say, I'm Capricorn sun in tropical, but in Vedic, I'm Sagittarius. So that's the sign before. And I'm a Scorpio North Node in tropical. I'm a Libra North Node in Vedic. That's the way it goes.
House energy. It has to do with finances, stability, family, right? Those kinds of things. And South Node is K2. It's things from the past. Mm-hmm. And then Virgo is the 6th house, which is health and healing, dealing with enemies, right? Disputes, or just like everyday work. And then we got the Queen of Cups and we got the Hangman. All right, so how is Cancer's astrology being affected for April 25th to May 8th? Cards I need to see. Show what cards I need to see. Okay. Okay, interesting. So around these issues of stability, of family, of stableness, you guys have been in this place of being patient. And it looks like you're going to get some really good advice from somebody. Could be somebody who is a very nurturing, supportive energy. Could be another water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. The answers that you need are coming. There's something about this situation from the past that you really got caught up in and made you feel a little bit stuck or a little bit in the middle of things, okay? but your tough cycle is about to end. We see the Virgo energy. There is some information that you're going to receive, some kind of, it's going to give you the ability to fight the situation, to give you new perspective. Remember, Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury has to do with intelligence. Mercury has to do with communication. Virgo is the sign of, knowing how to beat your enemies, right? To heal a situation, right? It's health and healing house. It's to do with digestion, right? It's something about this situation in the 6th house that you're going to gain a new perspective about. And we see there's something about this situation that wasn't an equal give and take before, but now will be. Okay, so something wasn't an equal give and take, but now will be. So the answers that you need are coming. A tough cycle is about the end, and you're about to bring things into balance. There's advice coming around the stuck, stagnant energy, which will give you new perspective. This situation around family, stability, all right, wealth, money, right, with the Taurus energy, something around the past here, K2, something pertaining to the past. We see you're going to have the ability to heal the situation, to fight for your positioning here. You're going to get some kind of perspective of this. Because remember, Virgo energy, Virgos are able to dig deep. They are really good at analyzing a situation. So we got the Virgo energy in here. You figure something out here, which gives you a new idea, a new perspective about the situation, which helps you resolve this stuck energy that you've been dealing with. Okay. It's like you almost see this from a new perspective, right? The Page of Swords is saying, I see this from a new way and a new perspective. This situation that I was stuck in before, that I couldn't figure things out. Now I know how to fix this. Okay. So can I have some advice for my Cancers when it comes to their astrology and for April 25th to May 8th, and how I can help them for their high cards? Show my cards E to C. Show my cards E to C. Okay, let's see. Okay, so things are about to open up. You'll be able to take a risk. You got to take an action. When things are open, when you feel like your intuition is saying, this is it, go for it. The coast will be clear. You'll be able to heal the chaos, go with the flow, right? Don't try to, I don't want to, okay, go for it. You have the wisdom, you've gained it. You see people involved in this situation, you're going to see some signs where you'll be able to embrace the future, and it's going to happen all of a sudden. Massive change. Get ready for massive change. Okay, because and it's interesting because in your particular reading, definitely you can see that solar eclipse, lunar eclipse kind of energy there. There was some kind of stagnation around that area of your life, and now it's going to change. Okay, so let's move into your romantic love life. All right. It's going to have my Cancer's romantic love life for April 25th to May 8th. Show my cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. Okay, so you're getting some kind of clarity here with Ace of Swords energy. Some kind of answers. Around somebody who had walked away physically or mentally. Something that had happened now, things are turning in your favor. Isn't that interesting? Your career and Tower cards coming out. Your career and finance is mirroring your romantic love life here. Interesting. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. 7 of Pentacles. Wow, Judgment. Okay, what's influencing you? 3 of Pentacles. Let's move this over here. 3 of Pentacles. 10 of Wands is coming toward you. Star card energy. Okay, so we see there's some kind of opportunity coming up. Ace of Swords. And there's somebody who was at a loss. Somebody who walked away. Somebody who was avoiding their emotions.
Lima beans.
There was definitely a lot of great energy, like a sense of like not knowing where you stand here in the situation. But now things have changed. There's been a massive breakthrough, or there's about to be a massive breakthrough here with the Tower card energy. You have a blessing coming in. You're about to have a victory here with this clarity, this aha moment. So let's go further. We see who's coming toward you. Somebody that's been weighing heavy on you or has a lot of burdens of responsibility here with the 10 of Wands energy. All right. What's going to have my Cancers, romantic love life, April 25th to meet? Show me cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need. See. Oh my goodness, the Tower card's coming out there too. You got a lot of shock and surprise about this person. You weren't expecting this from this person. You know what it says? It says massive shock and surprise about the clarity you're about to get from this person who wants to be with you. They have regrets about what happened in the past. This is just the theme in the next 2 weeks. Jesus, how many signs have I read this for so far? I mean, you cross-watchers know what I'm talking about. Okay, what's going to happen? Cancers, romantic love life for April 25th to May 8th. Show me cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. Okay, so some indecisions about this massive shock and surprise and this clarity from this person who wants to be with you, who walked away from a situation because of family and family conflict. They're letting you know that they regret this abrupt decision. Wow. There's a massive change here with the Tower card energy. I was foolish about this. You make me happy, 10 of Cups energy. I want to commit. I want marriage, Hierophant card energy. I want a long-term commitment here. This is like the Ring card energy for me, right? Commitment, engagement, marriage, okay? There's a massive change here with this person. I want to be more than just friends. Some of you guys may be consulting friends about it because it looks like the next card is you're getting advice. Queen of Cups energy. Oh my goodness. Should I give my cup of love to this person? Are they lying to me? Are they being deceptive? Is the shoe going to drop here? What's going to happen? Yep. And you're like, wow, this is my soulmate connection. They want a relationship. This is everything that you want at 9 of Cups energy. So you're getting everything that you wanted with the 9 of Cups energy. We see that there's this ending here for a new beginning, and we see communication, letter, document. You're waiting around to see how things are going to play out, or this person wants to invest time in the connection. We see there's this house and family home confirmation. I heard that text coming in. This person's very cautious and defensive, or you are. You got this apology coming in with the Judgment card energy, a reconciliation with the Judgment card energy. All right, let's bring it all together so far. And then I really want to just move a little bit ahead here and see what the influence is. Okay. 3 of Pentacles shows me that there is this collaboration, working together. We built something here. I want to assert myself. Someone wants to gain control over the situation, to kind of figure out a creative solution. Okay. You're the best decision for me when it comes to long-term commitment. This has been weighing heavy on me, 10 of Wands energy. I'm hopeful of this new love. Okay, so hopefulness of this new love. But it is someone you've dealt with before. Hopeful of new love. Okay. Spirit is definitely saying don't lose hope here for the advice with the Star card energy coming out. That's very interesting, Cancer. And we see this friendship. We're leaning on friends for support. We see an apology here. Okay, so I'm going to bring it all together and make it clear cut, guys. Okay, so I want to apologize about this person, about this passionate situation. Okay. I'm at a crossroads about what to do. You make me so happy. I want to communicate with you about this situation with family and friends. There's a cautious and defensive energy. This is happening all of a sudden. This soulmate connection, this relationship, and lots of chemistry and passion. We see at the bottom of the deck, we see ex-partner, or someone you've dealt with before, healing a situation, money and finance, and knowledge of communication, stress and worries about this spiritual connection, and an opportunity which is shocking and surprising because it's time. You don't know where you stand, but you're trying to be hopeful and make a decision very soon. There's concerns about some kind of lying or deception is causing confusion. Okay, massively shocked and surprised. I was so foolish about this ending. I want to be with you, and I want this change to happen. Massive change here happening. When it comes to house and home and family, I regret this situation and lying to you about this person, which this person can be a sister, a daughter, a friend, okay, or some kind of infringing party there. Okay, so they're apologizing to you, which is definitely a theme next 2 weeks with a lot of different signs here. Okay. Okay, so there's clarity here and a massive shock and surprise, a massive change. Okay, so this situation, this clarity you're getting, all right, you're really shocked by this. This is what you wanted. Someone has walked away from a marriage or commitment, and there has been some time waiting around. The timing is right. We see that there is this patient energy and a contemplation about love and devotion and an apology about it with the judgment card energy. So it looks like someone's leaving someone else to be with you, Cancer. Okay. And they're letting you know, and you're massively shocked and surprised, but this fulfills your desires here. Okay. So, but it's definitely someone you've known before. Okay. So we got the ex-partner card at the bottom of the deck, or it could just talking about the fact there was an infringing party, because that ex-partner card, when I see it in personal readings, is saying, oh, wait, is it ex-partner? It's another person, it's a family member, it's a friend, or somebody infringing upon the connection. Okay, so 3 people, possibly with the 3 of Pentacles energy, or there's something that was already built here, all right? Some kind of creative solution. I want to assert myself because I know you're the best decision for me. The person is coming toward you. It's something about this person that has a lot of burdens and responsibility, but now is hopeful of new love. Something is being accomplished or completed here. Your advice is to not lose hope in this friendship and this apology. Okay. Let's get you guys some advice. Can I have some advice, my Cancers, when it comes to their love life for the highest best good for the best possible outcome for them for April 25th to May 8th? Show me the cards I need to see. Show me the cards I need to see. Okay, let's see. There's about to be an ideal partnership. Stay positive in your inspiration. Congratulations on your advice.
Like they also feel like you're draining the new person. All right. So, Spirit, how is this new person feeling right now about Aries? How is the new person feeling about Aries? Okay. Well, Aries, this new person doesn't know whether or not to give up. Okay, we got the 8 of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles. They feel like they should give up because things are going really slow. They're not moving or going very slow between the both of you. I do sense some disappointment in that. It's like this person feels disappointed about how slow things are moving between you two. I don't think you trust the situation fully. We have the 9 of Wands. This is someone that you still have a guard up to. Well, how you feel the 3 of Pentacles. So you're interested. I feel like you feel as if you need more information, or, you still want to get to know this person. Like, I do see you feeling as if there's potential to build here with someone as you get to know them, but how do they see you? Judgment. They think you're very judgmental. They think you're harsh or you're judgmental. That could just be them feeling insecure, okay? Some of you guys, this person feels like you may be judging them. What do they want to do about it? hold back. So Aries, don't be surprised if this person is held back from you this week a little bit. And it is due to the fact they feel judged by you. They feel like things are moving very slow. And they also feel like you are held back. So it's kind of like they're mirroring your energy. Yeah. 4 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles. 44 could be significant to someone. 48, 43, 38, and 34 as well. 39 and 49. Take it or leave it. Doesn't have to resonate with you. I'm getting this person acting less interested. They're going to be acting less interested. And it is a tactic. It's actually, I feel like this person is trying to, how do I want to word that? This person feels like you're moving very slow. They're not getting what they want from you. So they're going to go into this act of uninterested, or that they're losing interest. And I do feel like it's because they're trying to gain your interest.
Mind games.
Yeah, Queen of Wands. Okay, I feel like this person's very attracted to you, though. Very passionate about you, very sexually attracted to you. This is someone that's intrigued by you, but they just feel like you may be judgmental towards them, or judgmental towards people in general. Okay. The main emotion I'm getting, they feel like things are moving too slow. They're not moving as fast as they would like. We do have the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. You could be connecting with a Gemini. Could also be connecting with an Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio. But don't get too hung up on the signs. There's also earth energy here and fire. All right. Sorry, I turn off the mic to clear my throat. Okay, let's move on to the one that you have some history with. Okay. I'm going to change decks here. Let's see. Put this over here. All right. It's going to take me a while to get used to this, y'all. Bear with me. Okay, so Spirit, tell me about this. Tell me about this person that Aries has history with. If you're not having any issues with anyone, it's not likely this reading will resonate, by the way. Little disclaimer. Okay, Spirit, how do they feel about Aries? They can't move on. Okay, this is someone that is having a hard time moving on from you. I feel like there's something here about them going down memory lane, okay, whether you realize it or not. Who they are, the Knight of Swords. This person ran off, or I'm getting like a sudden, like something suddenly happened in the past. There was some sort of sudden, somebody ran away. Okay, is what I'm getting. They just took off. This could have happened. This could have seemed like it was all of a sudden, like one day they were there, the next minute they were gone, is what I'm feeling. So how does this person see Aries right now? Spirit, how do they see Aries right now? They think you are doing fine. They see you as the Nine of Pentacles. They see you as someone who is independent. They see you as someone who is taking care of themselves. Now, that tells me this person knows something about you, because for some reason they see you as taking really good care of yourself, that you're in a good place. So that tells me this person spies on you or gets information on you somehow. But they see you doing really well without them.
Always somewhere spying.
How do you feel? How does Aries feel about this person? Queen of Pentacles. I just feel like you're choosing yourself right now, is what I'm getting. Now, a lot of you Aries, you could feel this person is also taking care of themselves. You could feel this person is working on things or putting all of their energy into their work, their business. Some of you Aries also see this person as minding their business, but I'm just getting like you feel this need to put all of your energy into yourself after this person ran off. That's what I'm getting. Now, you could have been the one that ran off. I'm not really getting that, but this is a general reading. But I'm just getting like you feel like you should choose yourself. A lot of you guys are burying yourself in work or just focusing on your money, right? They're not going to do anything about this. I don't see them coming toward you. I just feel like this person's having a hard time getting over you. And there's definitely a lot of spying and reminiscing. Okay. Give me one more card for that. Two of Cups. They would like to have a heart-to-heart conversation. Like if this person had the courage to come your way,
Beautiful.
I just feel like they would like to have a conversation about whatever happened, or, you know, somebody wants to tell you something. Yeah, Five of Cups. I feel like you were very disappointed about the sudden shift in energy this person, you know, gave you. All right. And there's an energy here of you not. I feel like you're both kind of in this place of missing when it was good, when it was at its high. Okay. And I do feel as, you know, the sudden shift really, really disappointed you. And that's why you're deciding to put all of your energy into yourself here, your work, or things that you can actually, you know, I'm just getting like you're working on things that you can control. And a lot of you Aries are realizing this is out of your control. But I just, this person, they can't move on. I am getting someone that thinks a lot about you. Okay. Especially when they're not doing anything. There could have been a specific, this is very specific, but there's a specific day that stands out to this person, okay, that you two shared. And it could have been a getaway. You guys could have traveled together, or, you know, went somewhere for the day, or,
Well,
you know, for the weekend.
my baby girl.
That's not going to resonate with all of you,
The
but
bomb.
that memory does, this person does hold on to that memory, or those memories of you two traveling together. Could be a Sagittarius for some of you. I also have water. All the elements are here. It could be any sign, so just take what resonates. Okay. All right, Taurus, I really appreciate it. Thank y'all so much. All right, this current / past person for Capricorn. That's whenever the Page of Wands falls into someone's feelings, you give their body a physical reaction.
Damn.
So I'm going to clarify that, but there's something about them when they see you or hear from you, like when they're texting you, or if they actually see you, there's feelings of excitement, of course, but their body physically reacts to your energy.
I know
okay?
it do.
High Priestess, for who they are, how you would know, there's very little to no communication. Someone's nervous to speak with you. How you feel, the King of Cups. You have compassion for this person. Some of you guys give this person the benefit of the doubt, but you care, right? You clearly care here with the King of Cups. They see you as held back. They see you as not communicating with them, that you're silent. You might have detected some BS here. For how you know who it's for you, the High Priestess. Did you detect some BS, Capricorn? Okay. What do they want to do about it? I do feel like this person wants to get to a better place. I'm going to clarify that. First, let's clarify the Page of Wands. You know, why do they feel the Page of Wands? What is this feeling, this physical reaction that their body gets? There's a lot of excitement here, okay, when they hear from you or when they see you. I'm also getting someone really eager to have some type of reunion with you or get back together with you. There's a lot of eagerness in that area, okay? So that tells me the Six of Swords, you know, this is clearly somebody who wants to get to a better place with you. Yeah, Queen of Wands. They want to socialize with you again. Three of Cups, Queen of Wands. They want to make you happy. You know, they want to overcome the anger you feel. It's weird because you feel the King of Cups. You could be giving someone the benefit of the doubt, but this is you still caring about this person. They think you might be mad at them for some reason with the Queen of Wands because it's telling me they want to recover from that. It's a stalemate here. It's so interesting because you're both waiting for each other. You're both waiting for the other to make a move, or, you know, to make some sort of move of significance. You know, and I don't really see much happening. There may be, the energy is getting closer. Like this person wants to come towards you, and it feels like the energy is getting closer and closer this week. Like the momentum is building up, but it just feels like a stalemate right now. Even if you have recently reunited with this person or recovered something here with someone, it still kind of feels stagnant and stale. Yeah, the Chariot in reverse. Give me 1 second, guys.
Had to pause for the calls. You found you on YouTube and Instagram. Oh, you recently had an ex that found you on YouTube and Instagram. Yeah, they're a trip, ain't they? Motherfucker been hacking my goddamn accounts and shit.
All right. Thank you guys for your patience. Aquarius, let's take a look at
Let me see.
the new person. Because I'm getting like a, are you dealing with an earth sign?
Mm-mm.
Okay, or somebody has earth qualities? Because like I'm just getting like this really held back. Y'all know earth signs can be quiet. All right. Because I'm getting like a, are you dealing with an earth sign? Okay, or somebody has earth qualities? Because like I'm just getting like this really held back. Y'all know earth signs can be quiet. All right.
Yep.
Like you're playing a game of chess with them or something.
That's right. Strategic.
You know, earth signs are actually very, anyway, we're not getting into it. This is just my experience anyway, but I just feel like this person, yes, they're reflecting, but they're not really telling you much. Like, I don't think this person's really opening up to you about how they think, how they're feeling and thinking about what you either said to them or whatever's going on between you guys, whatever, because it could all just be something in the air. Because I'm not quite sure if you've actually verbally said something to this person or if it's just like some sort of body language or, you know, Queen of Swords. Maybe you acted some type of way that let this person know. Right? All right. It's telling me they're self-reflecting. That's all I'm getting, guys. Okay. The Magician. They do desire communication, though, but they won't. The Five of Cups. They desire you to talk. They want you to do all the talking. Who are you dealing with? You're not really dealing with much of a talker, or they don't really communicate their thoughts. It's like pulling teeth. The Magician. It's like you're a surgeon. You got to intricately and delicately figure out what the hell's going on here. Good luck. Anywho. They're feeling pulled towards you. This is someone that feels called. You pull on their heartstrings. I'm also getting something you did or said that's pulling them. You're pulling on their heartstrings, or you're pulling them, and they feel drawn to you. Excuse me, I said duck. You all know the thing.
Yeah, she said
that's what I said. But anyway, they feel drawn to you. Okay, they feel drawn to you. Air. We got strong Virgo here. Okay, y'all can be dealing with the earth sign. The Magician can be Gemini too, by the way, to me as a reader. Aquarius is here. Cancer's here. Libra's here. Don't get too hung up on the signs. All right. That was longer than I wanted it to be, so excuse me. Let's take a look at this current/past person.
This is for,
I trip over my words.
This is for Scorpio.
I trip over my words, y'all. Okay, just let me be. Okay. All right. Y'all wild in that chat. Okay, let's see. Scorpio. Okay. How do they feel? Not that I don't agree, but I don't care. And a lot of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but anyway. Give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm back here talking to myself. Let me be. Okay.
Yeah, she's thirsty.
All right. Those of you that have been following me on Instagram for a while can probably read my mind right now.
That's a fact.
Okay, anyway, Scorpio.
Well, damn.
How does this
You
person
got
feel
some
about you?
goddamn shit going on in the background, huh, Jess?
Okay. They want to open up to you. Okay, this is somebody that wants to heal the connection. They feel a spiritual connection with you. I don't know if they say it that way. They might not verbalize it that way, or even might not even use the term spiritual. However, they feel some sort of spiritual connection with you. They feel the star. They're also wow. They're also feeling a sense of vulnerability toward the situation. Okay, they see you as the Five of Pentacles. I'm not sure if they left you behind or if you left them behind, because this is general. But they definitely see you as someone who is depleting their energy on some level. Give me a second here. There's something about serendipity, because the Five of Pentacles can talk about like an accident, and the Star is like, just they feel a very special connection with you, and it's almost like a fortunate accident meeting you. Like maybe you've definitely made some sort of impact on this person. And they feel like meeting you was fate. Okay. They have a strong connection with you, Scorpio. You're in the Nine of, you feel a lot, this person gives you a lot of anxiety. Why the King of Wands? How you would know it's for you, the King of Wands, you know, that's just, you're very attracted to this person. Six of Swords. To the Nine of Swords. It's almost like you know someone's no good for you. Or, you know.
See, that's how you know.
The current.
That's how you know. This how you know it's a Mercury retrograde. Because that, see how the how everything acting up and all that. Because see, that Mercury has to do with communication. That's why they always say to be careful how you communicate during these retrogrades and stuff, because things can, and make sure you check all your accounts and everything, because anything can happen. Mercury retrograde is true. That's why I'm trying to tell people they need to really get to know about astrology and stuff. Shit want to get them freeze up and everything. Give me a second here. Come on. That's all they do is stalk. Be looking from a distance. Scared to open their mouth. Let's see what we got going on here.
To zoom by. So, yeah, my goal today is to share with you some of the fundamentals of esoteric astrology, which is a little bit different than traditional astrology in a couple of ways. Fundamentally, esoteric astrology is much more related to, or is useful to, people that have actually had an awakening. to people that have an awakening to their higher promptings. Traditional astrology is very good when it comes to understanding the personality dimension of life. But once a person has come to that time in life or that particular incarnation where there's a deeper something being felt, a higher kind of love being felt, a recognition of a kind of selfless, almost Christ-like love being felt.
Yep.
That's called the awakening. It's a big, big point in the evolutionary journey of the human soul over the vastness of time. And once that awakening occurs in one life or another, life is never the same. And it's at that point where we begin to see the usefulness of esoteric astrology. Because esoteric astrology has got a fundamental couple of goals. One is, in a certain sense, it's designed to help us understand how does the soul want to pattern the nature of consciousness in the life. And also, how may the lower self get in the way and what can be done about it. So the premise behind this whole philosophy, or I should say the astrology portion of this philosophy, is that a person has recognized their own duality. They've recognized that higher and lower. And this particular type of astrology is trying to cater to the higher, the soul, and help you understand how to transform the lower, the personality, so that it becomes the rightful servant to the higher. And that's the goal.
Right.
The soul is who you truly are, and ultimately your personality, its destiny is to just be the outer garment. Its destiny is to be the instrument through which the soul tries to interface in the world, and in the process of interfacing, make an uplifting contribution to something beyond yourself. Every human soul wants to serve, and yet we have to recognize it, and we have to understand how the personality needs to conform to its expectations. So the goal tonight is kind of twofold. I'm going to do a PowerPoint with you today, and the first few slides are just going to be showing you a couple of major distinctions between esoteric astrology and traditional astrology. And then I'm going to take you on a journey, and I'm going to take you through the 12 signs of the zodiac, and I'm going to give you a higher understanding of each of these signs. And
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's begin. Esoteric astrology versus personal or traditional. So esoteric astrology focuses on the purpose of the soul and its struggle to transform the personality. But personal astrology focuses on the personality development and its expression. Okay?
Fair use, fair use.
Because the soul is found on the abstract plane of mind, an esoteric astrologer will interpret a chart abstractly. Abstractly. And so you will see, as I go through this, you will see that the language I use will have a more abstract quality to it, because that's why the whole philosophy is abstract. Those of you who have studied Blavatsky, and those you know it's very abstract, but there's a reason for that. Because your causal body, your soul, is found on the abstract mental plane, the higher mental plane. And so the more we exercise and develop our abstract consciousness, the more you're in the neighborhood of the soul. Personal astrologers tend to interpret a chart concretely, at least comparatively speaking. In esoteric astrology, the rising sign holds the clue to the soul's incarnational intention. It's an important concept. In traditional astrology, the rising sign, which is the sign that's cresting at the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth, and it's really important in traditional astrology, but when a person has had the awakening, has a deeper sense of their soul call, then the rising sign has a higher meaning. as suggested here. You see, and let me just show you the bottom part. Of the personal astrology, the rising sign reveals the nature of persona and its expression. In other words, the rising sign to a traditional astrologers is that it represents appearance, persona, how you are seen in the world, or how you would like to be seen.
Right.
Esoteric astrology says, well, yes,
Leo rising in Saturn.
until you wake up to that prompting. Then this higher understanding of the rising sign is really crucial. You see, the reason for that is that this is the sign that's in the east, and the east is the direction of spirit, and it's rising. So it can symbolize the soul's rising intention. In a way, it's your soul sign. Probably more accurate, though, if I were to say it this way. If you could live the higher qualities of your rising sign, well, that's like a gate right to the soul. So if you don't know your rising sign, I encourage you to learn what it is.
I tell y'all this all the time.
Next. Esoteric astrology uses 3 levels of ruling planets for each sign. From this, the spiritual dimension of the sign can be revealed. Now, this is an aspect that there's no way I could fully get into this tonight, but I'll just say this, that I don't know if you know what rulers are. I'm curious, how many of you are really familiar with astrology? I'm just kind of want to get a feel for it. Okay. Well, you know that every sign of the zodiac has planets that rule, which means represents it. And yet, traditional astrology has a tier of rulers that are useful and correct as it pertains to the consciousness of the personality. But there's a higher tier of rulers, and that those planets are often different than the traditional.
Same thing.
And it says that it is suggested that those planets hold the soulful vibration associated with that sign. You see, one of the big differences between traditional and esoteric is that traditional astrology has a more monolithic approach, but esoteric astrology takes into account that people are actually at different levels of consciousness, and that has to be included in the nature of the interpretation. 2 people could have exactly the same chart. One is a very young soul and one is a very old soul, and yet often people kind of interpret it the same, but it's far from the same. And that's one of the beauties of esoteric astrology. It takes into consideration the hierarchical dimensions of evolution itself. Okay? So here it is. Personal astrology uses only the traditional rulers. These are useful, but only as it pertains to the personality, not the soul. Okay? All right, a couple more. Esoteric astrology considers the moon to be the major liability of a person's chart,
The moon,
particularly after the age of 35.
Hidden. Your intuition, your emotions,
I'm looking at your faces.
stuff like that. That's what the moon sign
Many
is.
of you are probably in that category. I know I am too. Whereas traditional astrology, personal astrology, considers the moon as the symbol of a person's emotional tendencies and instinctual patterns. And that's true. It is. But many times, to the person on the path, the moon can represent instinctual patterns that can actually defeat the soul from being more effective in the life. It's because it's as if the soul, because it's representing instinctual consciousness, the soul can have difficulty getting a grip on it. So one of the great challenges of evolution is to handle the problem of the moon in your chart. And the general rule of thumb is, for wherever the moon is found, is that whatever sign it's in, and assuming you're on the path, it either means that there's going to be too much of that energy woven into the instinctual dimension of consciousness, or the opposite, not enough of it. Or the third possibility, it's unstable. Sometimes too much, sometimes not enough, so it swings back and forth. Okay? Okay.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to start with Aries. Now, as I go through these, I'm going to show you the deep meaning of Aries, the deeper meaning of Aries, and then or the signs, and then I'm going to give you a sacred mantra for each of the signs of the zodiac. So when you think of Aries, let me go back for a minute. When you think of Aries, the typical way we think of that sign is that it's a powerful sign. It's a sign that has a lot of fire in it. It's the kind of the warrior on the march. Mars is the traditional ruler. Mars is the lord or god of war, right? And all of that's true. But when we look at it from a deeper perspective, Aries is one of the first ray signs. Now, I don't know if you folks know what the 7 rays are, but of each of the 7 rays, every ray finds expression through 3 signs of the zodiac. And in the case of the first ray, which is called the ray of will and power, one of the signs that it finds its access point is indeed Aries. And Aries is this: the will to initiate the archetypes of God on behalf of humanity's betterment. You see, Aries is a sign that when it's affecting the life of a disciple, oh, I better define my words here. When I use the word disciple, I don't mean it in the way. I don't mean it in the sense of, oh, follow the guru and that sort of thing. No. What I mean is to be a disciple of your own soul. To be a disciple of your own higher promptings, that's discipleship. I mean, there's also larger understandings of discipleship. You know, it is said that the greatest master you could ever follow is often the one least followed. And that's your own higher consciousness, the soul within you. Okay? So when you hear me use the word disciple, that's what I mean. Okay? Aries sees and Aries tries to shape into human consciousness the ability to sense the new paradigms emerging on humanity's horizon, and to be a voice in support of those new and emerging paradigms. So it's a futuristic sign. It's a pioneering sign. And it's very strong. It's the first sign of Zodiac, very strong because it has to be strong. If you're an Aries individual who's on the path and you sense new ideas and you want to bring them forward, you got to be strong, because humanity is governed by inertia. And if you're going to initiate the new, it takes a lot of power to move something into the field of inertia. So that's why Aries is so strong, normally, unless other things in the chart compromise that. So as I go through these 12, please understand I'm talking about them in their kind of pure sense. Realize that a chart is very complex.
Exactly.
And there's many, many other variables that can modify things, but I just want you to understand the fundamentals on a higher level of the signs themselves, okay? Now, as I said, every sign of the zodiac has a sacred mantra that I'm going to share with you. Now, this is a sentence in English, and it's said to be the soul speaking in this sign. And I'm going to show it to you here, but I always like to preface this, the Aries one, that Aries is so strong that, let's put it this way, I'm glad you're sitting. Okay. So here's the soul speaking in Aries. I come forth, and from the plane of mind, I rule. I come forth, and from the plane of mind, I rule. But let me explain that, because if you can misinterpret this very easy. I'm going to embellish it for clarity. I, my higher consciousness, I, the best in me, I, the soul itself, come forth. Okay, next. Esoteric astrology uses 3 levels of ruling planets for each sign. From this, the spiritual dimension of the sign can be revealed. Now, this is an aspect that there's no way I could fully get into this tonight, but I'll just say this, that I don't know if you know what rulers are. Curious, how many of you are really familiar with astrology and just kind of want to get a feel for it? Okay.
Let me give you something to listen to while I'm trying to find something here.
It's common knowledge that the moon affects the tides and the oceans and the very water across the earth. But if we are 50 to 60% water, how can we deny that the moon affects us? This sort of speculation is as old as human civilization and even older. Yet, what does the mainstream think of the reference to astrology today? So this talk is not going to get into the technical. It is historical, vastly historical. I will not have time to speak on everything that I'm going to mention. We have to think of how bewildered our ancestors were when looking into the night sky. How strange it must have been. We look at it now with such a context that it seems like anything else. But to them, this would have been to the utmost fascination. It is this phenomena, this wonderment, this study of astrology that is the root of cultures everywhere. It is the impetus of what made math and astronomy and even psychology. It is the very attempt to control our own destiny, to understand the stars, was the mark of many things to come. Of course, alchemy being closely affiliated So we start with carvings on bones in cave walls that are dated as early as 25,000 years ago. So this point in history is truly scattered. We can find fragments, depictions of astronomical, we can call it, observations that are hard to date. But what would be accepted is that we find our beginning in civilization in Mesopotamia, Sumeria, as far back as 3000 BC. We can see that they are naming the constellations and the 7 originating planets, what the Greeks would later refer to as the wanderers, or as they would say, the periplanimosos. This is a sort of offhand reference, but the Sumerian ruler Gudea of Lagash, being 2143 to 2124 BC, describes how the god showed him in a dream which planet constellations would be ideal for building his temple. And here's a big digression. So if this is the originating culture, then this is where we can find the seed of what would later become Islamic, Hindu, Chinese, Mayan, Aztec, Druid, and all other occult tradition forming astrological systems. And most importantly, at least for our talk today, the root of the Western tradition. All of them find their root here in Mesopotamia. Apparently, that is the best guess that we can say. All of these traditions are highly diverse, just like our languages are highly diverse from one another. But anyhow, we cannot know too much about what happened in Sumeria this early on. The oldest astrological document that we can really put our finger on is the Enuma Anu Enlil. It's allegedly created in the Old Babylonian period, this being 1950 to 1595 BC, and canonized in the Kazite period, being 1595 to 1157 BC. And when we're talking about this early astrology, it's what we call mundane astrology or omens. So this is the sort of thing that the Enuma Anu Enlil says. If the lion is black, the land will not be happy. Welcome to Spiritual Studies Session 32. This is on all manner of understanding how the stars are involved in the interpretation of Christianity, in the Bible most notably, and how these different tropes of stars extend out to other religions. We will be looking at Draco, Saturn, the morning star, the Pleiades, just to name a few. Now, as a beginning, I want to make a distinction between the terms esoteric religion and exoteric religion. There is an intention behind this. The esoteric is the inner knowing, or what the stories really got going on, versus what people think is going on, or the more shallow, literal interpretation of the exoteric, the outer circle. So the inner circle and the outer circle. And that's what we're really teasing at today. A lot of what we're talking about when it comes to an understanding of Christianity, that is, would be left to high theologians, early Christian mystics, and the sort. So is it a coincidence as a beginning that there are 12 disciples and 12 zodiacal signs? that each of these revolve around a sun. Is it a coincidence that there are 4 principal gospels in the 4 corners of the earth? This in Christianity being Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And that there are 4 navigational directions, or 4 fixed signs in the zodiac, or the directions that are called in pagan ceremonies. So in this way, we will begin with an understanding or an interpretation of Genesis and Jesus. So the beginning of the story begins as the year does, or the old year, with the fires of Aries, the disruptive fires of Aries, the spring coming forth out of death, out of winter, out of nothingness per se. Then we have Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Libra. 7 signs away from this beginning. 7 days away from this beginning. The 7th day, the 7th sign. And this point, Libra, is opposite of Aries. So in this, it is both sharing equal days, equal nights, equilibrium, autumn. And on this 7th day, on this 7th sign, allegorically speaking, we see Genesis say, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So this is the balance that's struck. Libra is the scales. Masculine, feminine, male, female. It is on the 7th day that it's the climax of material creation. This is all taking place in astronomical fashion. This perfect union of the sexes. Then comes the fall. Literally, the fall. Through Scorpio. On the 8th day, per se. Banishment from Eden. The victory of something that we'll elaborate on a lot today. The victory of Satan, or the victory of winter over summer. And then comes to, through Sagittarius, comes to Capricorn. And as we've discussed in a previous session, the 21st is the solstice. The sun appears to die for 3 days because it doesn't go up or down a degree in the sky. It maintains its same position for 3 days. And then on Christmas or Christmas Eve, depending, it rises for the first time after these 3 days of nothingness or of death per se. And it rises, and it's now in the sign of Capricorn. The sun begins to move, and at midnight is born. As this is happening, you see that the celestial sign of Virgo is rising in the eastern skies. Hence, the sun is born of a virgin, of Virgo, in Bethlehem, in the house of bread, being a reference to Virgo. And then comes this escape. Like I said, we'll talk about this much more. But in the Bible, it's escaping the king that's trying to kill all children that resemble him, or that could be him. Or in another tradition, it's Kronos, or Saturn, or Capricorn, trying to get away from Capricorn, the goat, who kills the young babes. I hope this is very clear where what kind of level we're talking on right now.
They ain't on that level yet. They ain't on that level yet.
When we next see the Son, the Savior, what have you, he is 30 years old, or has transitioned 30 degrees in space. And this would be in Aquarius, after Capricorn. In Aquarius, he emerges, the Sun, pun intended. Now is the beginning of all of the truth, or the dissemination, the miracles. The water of Aquarius represents truth or nourishment, and is strangely enough a reference to the floods. Now, in order to get into this a bit deeper, that's a good setting context, but I have to bring up the precession of the equinoxes.
y'all ain't this deep.
So Aries is the constellation that resonates with Mars. So fiery, destructive, warrior elements. We're talking about a force here. So this is an age, more or less, it's 2,150 years. Now in the Bible, not counting Genesis and all the
10.
events of Genesis, we see aspects of the age of Taurus. The age of Aries is where the Old Testament truly takes place.
Mm-hmm.
Then we see the age of Pisces. Now, this Lord of the Old Testament, the God, the Lord of hosts, is in battle constantly. He is decimating cultures. He's demanding that his people decimate sacred groves, that they take over, that they destroy their foes. It's a very lamenting God. Jealousy, anger, vindictiveness, revenge. Then the Old Testament is over, and now we're in a new astrological age, which started at what we call year 0, the changing of the age. And then we're in Pisces, which is ruled by, you could say, Jupiter. Others could argue Venus. And now all of a sudden, this New Testament God is beneficent, loving, merciful, free love, all that. Everyone will be forgiven. Peace. So this is where there's a lot of wonder about Christianity. Why are these two gods, or one God, acting very different ways? And that the New Testament God would be hard off to be trusted based off of all that happened in the Old Testament. I mean, just look at Leviticus. So in this, there might be a statement of what is esoterically referred to as the solar logos, or the logos in general. And that you might interpret this, that God, in its personality, in his, hers, its, big I, capital IT, its personality is indicative of the age. So in the age of Aries, it will come across as Aries. In the age of Pisces, it will come across as Pisces. The word from the source will come across based off of the age. That it's truly multifaceted, the thing beyond all ages. So those are just two little rants to kind of set a certain ground. But we're going to have to jump into actual quoting at this point. Stars in the Bible. So first off, I want to start with one that's very incriminating. And this is Isaiah 47:13. Let your astrologers come forward, those stargazers who make their predictions month by month. Let them save you from what is coming upon you. Surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. They cannot even save themselves from the power of the flame. These are not coals for warmth. This is not a fire to sit by. This is all they are to you. These you have dealt with and labored since childhood. All of them go in error. There is not one that can save you. So this seems pretty direct in a kind of condemnation of stargazers, of astrologers, of people who understand the stars. And this, I would argue, is where Christianity is splitting the esoteric from the exoteric. If you really want to understand what's going on astrotheologically, or to interpret this more symbolically, the under layer of this, you have to know the stars. You have to. And then we'll find, as I'm going to quote here, that there are so many references to the stars, very contradictingly. So, Job 9:9, who makes the bear, Orion, and the Pleiades, and the chambers of the south? Those are three constellations. Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades or the cords of Orion? Job 38:31. Amos 5:6 or 5:8. Seek him that maketh the seven stars and Orion, and turneth the shadow of death into the morning, and maketh the day with the night, that calleth from the waters of the sea, and poured them out upon the face of the earth. I mean, bam, 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 there it goes. Revelations 1:16. And he had in his right hand 7 stars, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword. And in his countenance, was as the sun shineth in his strength. This is all hearkening to an astronomical observation. Revelations 1:20, the mystery of the 7 stars which thou sawest in my right hand, the 7 golden candlesticks. These are the 7 stars of the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. So what? Revelations 2:1, unto the angel of the church of Ephesus write, these things saith that he holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand. Again and again with the 7 stars. Galatians 3:1, these things saith that he hath the seven spirits of God, and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast name, that thou givest, and art dead. So this frequent reference, like throughout, of the 7 stars, and the direct name drop of the Pleiades, at the very least, in Job, brings out an interesting fascination, right? What's up with the Pleiades? So although I can't stand to answer everything, I can elaborate much more on the Pleiades as it's understood around the world. So first we have to look at the name itself, Pleiades. And this is obviously Greek, with argument, of course, etymologically speaking. It could go back further, yada, yada, yada. But the mother of the Pleiades is Pleione. She's an Oceanid nymph. And the name is argued in one argument to mean to increase in number. And traditionally speaking, there's either 7 stars of the Pleiades or 6, because one seems to disappear. But in truth, observing not the constellation, but the whole cluster, you'll see that there are many, many, many more as well. But these are the ones that are apparent to the naked eye. The Pleiades are the daughters of Pleione and Atlas, you know, the one who holds the sun, or the world, I suppose. They are associated with rain, and they are the ones that took care of Dionysus when he was an infant. Another suggestion for what the Pleiades mean is its derivation from the term plain, meaning to sail, because of its use in circumnavigation, its use in knowing where you are. Now, Orion lusted after the Pleiades, these 7 sisters. And in trying to protect them, one of 2 things happened. First, Zeus turns them into doves, which is a reference I'll come back to later. Although, since Orion's a great hunter, he then had to turn them into stars. So that's 2 different references to things that are important. 7 sisters being turned into stars and doves. Both of these things. Or another tale would say that the sisters committed suicide after being brought the news of the death of their kin, the Hyades and the Hyas, which are also constellational references. So when it comes to more specificity, there is a tale of the one that vanishes, and this is argued to either be Merope, which dimmed because of her shame with consorting with a mortal, or it could be Electra, which dims because she was upset, or she still is upset, with the demise of Troy, which were her descendants. But an interesting one of note is Maya, the leader of the Pleiades, which is etymologically a fascinating name, Maya, that has many different leads to it. But the month of May is named after her. May, Mai, Maya, May. And she is also mother of Hermes, or the mother of the god of wisdom, interestingly enough. And I am not getting into the Pleiadians here. I'm studying mythology. But as an interesting side note, the Japanese called the 6 stars, because of the one that vanishes, remember, Mutsuboshi, or Mutsuraboshi. And this name derives into the modern Japanese Subaru.
Subaru.
Which, yes, you're hearing that right, Subaru. And the logo represents the 6 different companies, or actually it was initially 5 different companies coming together.
See, all
to
symbolism.
make this company.
It's all symbolism.
And thus the logo of the Pleiades, or Subaru. Curious. Now, when we look at the Berbers in the northern Sahara Desert, they call the Pleiades the daughters of the night. So we're seeing some themes here. Take note. The Kiowa of North America had a legend of this star, and that that this story has everything to do with the Devil's Tower, which you can find in the very upper corner of Wyoming. That the 7 girls were chased by a bear, also a reference to Ursa Major, also a reference to a constellation, and climbed up a low rock. And they begged for the rock to save them, so it grew taller and taller and pushed them into the skies. And the bear tried to chase them up it, and thus the grooves on the sides of the Devil's Tower. So not only is this story, you know, giving meaning or context to the Devil's Tower, it's also giving context to the stars and the stories there. The Nez Perce, also natives, not too far over in Utah, or not Utah, well, maybe in partial Idaho. You know, one sister falls in love with a man and he dies. And she feels grief, terrible grief over this. And her sisters mock her. They make fun of her. Why are you sad about someone who's dead? Why are you sad for someone who's dead? And in shame, she pulls the veil of the sky over her face so that others won't see her. And this is, you know, explaining the disappearance of the seventh star. So right there, I've given you several instances across the world of a mutual allegory, a mutual mythos, a mutual tale of seven sisters for whatever reason. Now, before I try to understand that more, there's also what I also mentioned, the doves, turning the Pleiades first into doves before stars. And the Aboriginals in Australia believe just that these are doves, that the Pleiades are doves. And we see this in Sicily as well. In the Bible, of course, you know, doves are of a spiritual fascination. And thus why Pleiadians have this association, because of the handed down myth and what people have done with it. And the Greek word for Pleiades is very close, if not the same, as the word for a chicken coop. And in re-mentioning the Japanese, the Pleiades saw them as a hen and her chicks. So all these things of birds, of chicks, of doves, of sisters, we see this in the Samoans as well, the birds of paradise. I mean, come on, people. So what does this say? Right away, we're going to see more of this, but what does this say? It says one of two things. Either there is an originating mythology at the root of peoples from all around the world. We're talking Australia, America, Europe, Asia, all of it. So there's either one mythology, one central religion that everybody had, one belief in all of its intricacy that worked its way all the way throughout the world, which is a big implication, says a lot. All of these people came to the same realizations, interpretations of a phenomena in the sky. Both of those things are confounding. And I'm not going to offer an answer there. I'm just observing. So the other big one that we need to talk about is Draco. And this survives in verbiage too, in the word draconian. It's also a reference to an Athenian lawmaker, Draco.
I have you some.
But this is a cruel, rigorous.
I had me some fruit cooked. I put them in the freezer yesterday. Forgot about them. They froze on my ass now.
Or severe, unusually severe decree or law. So whatever it is, it's not good news. Draconian is a very negative term. So in the ancient Roman legend, Draco was a dragon killed by the goddess Minerva. And once destroyed, its body was thrown. But when it was thrown, it was contorting and twisting upon itself. And it froze at the North Celestial Pole. Now, as I'll go into detail later, the head of Draco, the constellation, thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, was our North Star. It changed, but we'll get into that. But that helps explain this myth. Draco is also aligned with or associated with the demon son of Gaia and Typhon. And the Sumerians, okay, right, way back,
said that represented the dragon Tiamat, which technically that would be more like the Babylonians, not the Sumerians. But hey, they all get thrown in the same pool. And that this would be something, I'm not going to get into that. Of course, the dragon's head, the head of Draco, is the thing of most superstition, the thing that is viewed as most conspicuous. The head of the serpent, the head of the dragon. So, as mentioned, as the world turns, whatever this Draco pole star was got dethroned. So however you interpret that astronomical event, right? So it was the guiding aspect, which changed, right? As a side note here, getting into heavy esotericism, or the knowledge of the seven rays, or the ageless wisdoms, that the universe acts as a corporate entity, 7 different solar systems coming together, notarized or named or coined as one about whom not be said. Curious. And that our solar system is just one of many facets of what they call the solar logos, as I mentioned before. And at the very base of the solar logos is Draco. So it's an idea of mirroring the chakra system, the 7 chakras. So at the head is the Great Bear constellation, Ursa Major. Then is Sirius for the third eye. Then is the Pleiades for the throat. And then is our sun, Sol, for the heart. Then Orion is the solar plexus. Antares is the sacral chakra. And last is Draco, being the very bottom of the spine, the base chakra, the root chakra. Very interesting esoteric implications there. But we're not really getting into that. More of a side reference. So when the pyramids were built, they still to this day can be shown to have aligned with Alpha Draconis, the pole star that was of that day. And that this would have put them anywhere, say, 3000, 2000 BC. And when the Magi visited Herod before going to Jesus, Herod asked King Herod where the child would be born, right? And that in this, he threatened to kill every child that was under 2 years old in anticipation. Why am I bringing up Herod all of a sudden after talking about Draconi or, Alpha Draconis? Well, if you remember, there's the association with the devil and winter here in Capricorn. This is the infant son that is threatened to be ate up by the serpent. Constellation reference for 1 to Draconis or to Draco. But for 2, embodied by King Herod in the Bible, or embodied by the devil, the serpent, which we'll see here in Revelations as well. So in Revelations, we're going to start with a different reference. 12:1. It says, a woman clothed with the sun and moon under her feet. So this has everything to do with the ecliptic path. And this is how you can tell the calendar in the sky based off of where the constellations are. And so the woman here, much like the Virgin Mary is, this woman is Virgo. And Virgo's up in the sky. And that the ecliptic dips just above the parallel. So the sun and the moon are appearing just past and below her left foot each year. This is an astronomical event. Each year this happens. It's a reference to the ecliptic path traveling under Virgo, under her body. Virgo is also identified as wearing the crown of 12 stars. And this could be a reference to a few things. The corona borealis, the diadem, the coma berenices. All of these are references to look further into. But to get back to the point, I wanted to throw that one in just to further show the astronomical nature of these references, right? And so the one that I wanted to bring up is right after this, Revelation 12:4. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky, its tail, and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of a woman who was about to give birth so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. Same reference here, people. King Herod, yada, 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 the winter, Capricorn. The infant son that was just born after the winter solstice, right? So here you see the constellation Virgo, which depicts a woman in the prone position about to give birth. And the head of the constellation Draco, Alphas Draconis, is just below her feet in the sky. And so the dragon stands ready to devour her child. Do you see how all this is playing together? But then in Revelations 12:5 as well, she brought forth a man or a child who was to rule all nations with an iron rod. And what is between the constellation Draco's head and Virgo? It's the constellation Boots. And this is the rod of the shepherd. Come on, people. Who is the shepherd, right? How many references in the Bible do you get to Jesus being the shepherd? So here's the battle that's taking part in the sky that is made into a story via the Bible that people's eyes, I guess, just gloss over. Early on in the Bible, when you had Adam and Eve on the seventh day in the Garden of Eden, who was there to tempt them, right? The serpent, Draconis, maybe. In all these other references of Revelations, you get all these weird things like this beast having the feet of a bear, the mouth of a lion. I mean, do I need to spell this out for you? Ursa Major, Leo. Describes a beast rising out of the sea in verse 1 of Revelations 13, having multiple heads. Is this Hydra? Is this Hydra? Just like you would see in the movie Hercules, the head of Hydra rises above the equator. Hence, the beast is rising out of the sea. It's a constellation, people. So, the defeat of the serpent, Leviathan. Now, Job 26:13, by his breath the heavens were cleared. His hand had pierced the fleeing serpent. Isaiah 27:1, in that day the Lord took up his great, sharp, mighty sword and bring judgment unto Leviathan, the fleeing serpent, Leviathan, the coiling serpent. Remember how it coiled up, and he'll slay the dragon of the sea. And again, the sea, as we've seen many times before, is a reference to the cosmic ocean, how the ancients looked at space as the cosmic ocean. So the act of defeating Leviathan, Tiamat, Lotan, whatever, in this way, astrotheologically speaking, is the change of Alphas Draconis no longer becoming the North Star, of the sky shifting, of the Earth now focusing on the new North Star. This would be a fundamental change of the astrological reality of the Earth. And so the serpent was dethroned or destroyed or defeated by the mighty sword. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about Lucifer. Let's talk about the devil. Let's talk about Satan. Let's talk about all these different references, okay? So as many know, Lucifer in its originating name means the shining one, or the one who brings light, to confer, to transfer, lucid, light, luminance, the one who brings light, and is called the morning star, which is a few different references we'll get to. That this star, the morning star, as they thought it was a star, was the brightest object in the sky before the sun came. And when it was in the evening, the opposite was true, the brightest object in the sky after sunset. So when this star goes under the horizon, it was said to descend into the underworld. It fell from heaven. Huh? So here is the story. Literally, you could see it with your own eyes. The fall of Lucifer, the fall of whatever you want to call it. And that you see this in the Greek legend of Persephone going into the underworld, but returning every once in a while. You see this in Inanna, in Ishtar, in Sumerian, Babylonian, Mesopotamian myth. You see this in myths all around the world. This is not unique. And this is an astronomical event. Eventually, later on, after the fact, Satan was tied to Lucifer. After the fact. This can be viewed as a mistake. So let's spend a little time. I'm going to get back to that, but let's spend a little time looking at the morning and evening star, okay? So in some references in ancient societies, this is the planet Venus. In most of them, it is. And it appears in the east before sunrise. In other references, it would seem to be Sirius. In other references, it would seem to be Mercury. In the religions around the world, you saw that this means Lucifer, but then also Jesus described himself as a bright morning star. Also, John the Baptist is referred to as a bright morning star in Eastern Orthodox. And also, Mary is called the morning star. So, what's going on?
Y'all just be sitting back listening, man.
In Australia, you have a culture that the creator spirit is embodied by the morning star. As we saw before in Slavic mythology, one of the servants of Dazbog was the Zorya was a solar deity, and that it was embodied by the morning star. So you see this in paganism too. Of course you see it in paganism. Of course you do. That should be obvious. I mean, in Aztec mythology, they have a god of the morning star too. I'm not going to try to pronounce that one, though. I've made that mistake too many times in this course. And then back to Greek, you have Phosphorus. Yeah, you heard me right. Phosphorus, the morning star, the god of the morning star, embodied in all sorts of ways, of which I don't have time to go into. And then you have all these other associative deities as well. Literally Venus being the god of the Roman pantheon, literally Aphrodite of the Greek pantheon, Ashura of the Canaanites, Freya of the... well, that one would be Nordic, wouldn't it? So, on the other end, we have the evening star. And that is Venus when it appears in the west. So opposite, not in the east, but in the west, in the evening, after sunset. And the Greeks had a different name for this, Hesperus, which we'll get into that a little bit. And then sometimes you can also see that this is a reference to Mercury. And then rarely you see that people try to tie both of these morning and evening stars to Mars. So there's a bit of messiness here. But this this myth, Hesperus, or Eosporos, bearer of dawn, or Phosphorus, bearer of light, right? This is where it started. In mythologizing the morning star, the evening star, Phosphorus is translated into Latin via the Romans into Lucifer. So this is literally just translating myth from Greek to Roman myth, personification of the planet Venus. And so in this way, Hieosphoros and Lucifer are the same. Lucifer would just simply be vulgar Latin. And then interestingly enough, this is tied to in Isaiah, and is referred to as the son of Shahar, or dawn. And Shahar is a polytheistic deity of the Ugarit people from Syria. So you see all of this is tied together, taking it way across the world to the Pawnee people who inhabited Nebraska and Kansas, who are now inhabiting Oklahoma. They believe that the morning star and the evening star gave birth to the first Pawnee woman. That this is their creation story. That the morning star is male and the evening star is female. And when they got together, they created a girl, the first woman. And the first man was the offspring of the sun and the moon. So all these things tied together, right? First man from one source, different woman from a different source. Interesting. A good twist on creation stories. And they, as a people, had a very nuanced understanding of the stars, as did all the ancients, all of them. And why we have all these myths. They knew the movements of Venus, the movements of Mars, the movements of the evening stars, like when it would arise, when it would go, the constellations, and that they centered at all aspects of daily life. When they would plant things, when they would harvest things, that was all based off of celestial observation.
The Farmer's Almanac.
Farmer's Almanac, people. This is the old way. Where we plant these things. This is the right time where we plant these things. Sophisticated. And then turned into myth, which got misunderstood and then turned into a very abstract religion that is so far away from it that it's devoid of its initial meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Or interpretively, exoterically devoid of its internal meaning. So now let's talk about Satan as opposed to Lucifer. So this word Satan is Hebrew or Greek Satanas or Satanas, or the Hebrew Satan, adversary, one who plots against. So this is the opposition, the one who is opposing, the one who stands in the way, adversary, thus the devil's advocate, literally the person that's standing contrary. And then, gets tied in with diablos, or, again, Greek, meaning slanderer, or one who throws something into another person's path, which would later become the devil. So in both these cases, you're seeing a personality type, a role of an antagonist, an adversarial role. And that this is not the name of a particular character. This is a type of thing. You see, it's abstract. It was not initially a character. Only later did, in the 6th century, long after, did storytellers start to embody this as a supernatural character. Because, as you'll see later, the devil becomes a big deal because they need a devil. This is especially true for the Crusades, or most especially for the Inquisitions, for the witch burnings.
Yep.
Now,
that's what it was all
angels could be sent for the purpose of blocking human activity. That this was the work of God. We've seen all sorts of convoluted cases before with, say, what was it? Samael or Azrael playing dark roles for the purposes of God, the left hand of God, what have you. So the initial understanding, my point is, would have been very different than how it's come to be understood. And so this is where we can kind of start to tie in this other subject of Satan being associated or thrown into the same mythological bag as Saturn. And these two names are either coincidentally or non-coincidentally similar. Saturn, Satan, right? Make your arguments for either side. Other times, Satan is associated with Mars, so take your pick. And a lot of this has to do with what associative cultural dynamics are coming from other places. So, for instance, Set of the Egyptian mythology, and the Hebrew word for Set would have meant the revolter, the swerver, the one that pushes one off the path, the one that falls away. Is that not very similar to what we were seeing with the term Satan in its etymology? You also see that Set is related etymologically to Tan or Tanin, which means serpent, dragon, sea monster. Tanin was literally used in the Hebrew Bible. It's also likened to the word jackal, interestingly enough. And when the Greeks were looking at Egyptian, they associated Set with Typhon, with Saturn, also with Kronos, but we'll get to that in a bit. So to focus on Saturn a little bit here, why is this a subject? We have another word, Saturnine. There's a few definitions here, but steady in mood, cold, slow, gloomy, sardonic, skeptical, skeptically humorous, divisively mocking, disdainful. The ancients believed that Saturn was of these harder qualities or darker negative qualities because we had the heliocentric model. So the sun would have been on this side and Saturn would have been on the opposite side. So they viewed it as opposite polarities, you see. And so Saturn is the adversary to the sun. That since Saturn was way out there, away from the sun, they thought it was cold, dark, like the underworld during winter. Again, associations with winter there, and we've already seen where that's gone. And that we have shorter days and crops will die. So this is the world, Saturn, or the adversary, winning over the sun. Darker times, or a time of Satan, a time of the devil. So this time spent, this mythology is where the sun went into the underworld. And like I said, we saw that in several other myths, whether the sun was like, the different stories associated with the morning star in Venus, in Ishtar, in Inanna, in Persephone, whatever, or when the sun, the solar deity, goes into the underworld and resurrects, we see that in different mythological cases as well. But in this way, it's always that Saturn is winning, or Satan is winning, or the adversary is winning on this side of the astrological wheel. Whoa. So when these different mythologies got taken in, got utilized by Christianity, these stories turned into histories in exoteric misunderstanding or over literalization. And so now you have people believing in these literal things. There might be something to say to that. I don't mean to sound too cynical, but, I think this should all be at the very least very intriguing, because these mythologies are metaphors for astronomical events, for astronomical bodies, constellations, planets, what they do literally in the sky. And that these different stories, these different mythologies, if you want to take all the religion out of it, all the spirituality out of it, could stand as mnemonic devices for memorizing what the sky does. And there'd be many reasons that somebody ought to know this in the ancient world. It also would have served a purpose in getting the appropriated, the coerced, the co-opted pagans in during Christianization. These different myths paying homages to these different pagan beliefs, these different stories of the pagans. This would have been the bridge. And after you bring them in, you cut it off. You see, this is the method. And in this appropriating of these different mythologies, and in Saturn, you know, you also have this figure of Pan, a half human, half goat with horns who plays the flute, or much later, the fiddle, right? And that the flute would represent the harmony of the spheres of Saturn. The rings.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pan would get co-opted, but also you can't forget the astrological sign of Capricorn, right? Because like we were saying before, Capricorn is that time where the adversary is winning, where the infant son is being hidden. So Capricorn is the goat. And Pan represents Saturn with this time as well, is the goat. So thus, the devil, Satan, is referred to as a goat. And in the same way, Pan, who existed in the previous world before Christianity, right, or before it's blooming across the world, represented man's lower nature. Does this not sound allegorical to you? You also have different references to satyrs being more of a folklore hybrid entity, which is a whole nother story, or the goat of Mendes, or of Baphomet, which that comes much later, and that's more of a matter of esotericism than any of this. But to show where this has gone different, you know, you look over to Hinduism, and you look at their embodiment of Saturn, and this is Shani. And Shani is feared, but it's because of what you've done, because Shani is the god of justice.
This shit deep, ain't it?
And in this, you're only afraid of Shani if you have done something wrong. Because if your karma is negative, if you've done something wrong, Shani will set it right. So Saturn brings misfortune that is just. It's not a fluke. You know, it's not out of nowhere. It's not just because. Shani is represented, or is subsequently represented in the Tetragrammaton in Kabbalah as Geburah, as the judge.
That's where the tarot fit in.
So depending on all the things that you've thought, all the things that you've done, depending on your karma, Shani might punish you.
Now you see,
but you're only afraid if you have something to be afraid of, you see. So it's the one that sets things right. It's a very different aspect in Hinduism. And you can see how it's gone so far in Christianity, right? Way too far, in my mind. In this demonization, the sinisterness, right? And, you know, Shani in this way is representing of, or you know, signifies, you know, humility, conscientiousness, discipline, aestheticism. These are all good things. And to the ancients, well beyond Hindu, they understood this type of suffering, the suffering that Saturn brings or what have you. They understood this type of suffering as just, as fuel for self-improvement. It wasn't something to defeat them, something that they should escape. There is a purpose for suffering. And to give Satan, Lucifer, just a little bit more mythological. I don't want to say Lucifer, but say it's very distinct compared to this. But to give Satan or the devil more mythological context, we have to look at Kronos. And Kronos is misunderstood in two different ways, because there's Kronos and Kronos. And Kronos is the personification of time, or Father Time. And there's some allegories here, but it seems to be a confusion. When you use the word chronic, this comes from Kronos. This is an homage to a mythological Greek deity. This was the Titan, Father Time, wielding a scythe for harvesting, because he's the patron of the harvest. associated with the Roman deity Saturn, or literally the planet Saturn, Father Time, wielding the scythe, the blade, which might be representative of the rings. And that Kronos dethroned his father Uranus to an astronomical event of Saturn throwing off the orbit of the planet Uranus. I mean, I know that's a bit of a stretch, but it does have a wobbly, you know, it's sideways compared to the others, right? Curious, just a little thing to throw out there. So, you know, in doing so, in castrating his father with a scythe, and mind you, you know, Kronos is told that his doom will come from his children. So what does he do? He devours his children. Sound familiar? Like Satan or Draco trying to devour the child? A Virgo of the Virgin? Or, you know, also this representing Hesed, King Hesed, wanting to kill all the children? Literally being Saturn or Draco or the adversary. Man. Because later on, right, Zeus would come, and who's the adversary there? Kronos is. Kronos is the adversary. And this allegory of Father Time, you know, time will outlive all things. Time will devour all things. And this is just. This is what will be. This is the harsh and not fluffy, not romantic reality of life. This is not a fluke of suffering. This is the way it is. The way it is. And so Father Time in this way brings things back that you might not want to see. Things that you thought that you got over, but now you need to deal with in a different way. This is the adversary. This is the devil's advocate. Hey. This is a true aspect of life of which is mythologically designated as Saturn, and further down the line, Satan. So with that, I think one other thing. This recent Christmas star, this recent conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. You're seeing this. I'm referencing what happened at the winter solstice of 2020. This is called the Star of Bethlehem, or the Christmas star, because it's a very notable occasion that happens once every 20 years. This conjunction of two planets gives this form of the star. Now, this event in 200-year gaps gets stuck in certain astronomical elements. I know this is a lot to understand. For 200 years at a time, every 20 years, it will appear in an air sign, a fire sign, a water sign. It will get stuck in an element. I don't know astrology. I don't know. I'm not getting into that lesson right now. But when it changes, it aligns with the precession of the equinoxes. It aligns with the coming of a new age. So at year 0, the years before that, these conjunctions, these stars of Bethlehem, 20 years before the birth of Christ as it's mythologized, 20 years before that, 20 years before that, 20 years before that, each one of these occasions would have been viewed as a time of familiarizing the people with the upcoming age, of acclimating the human consciousness towards what is to come. Now, this last one was especially notable in this way, this Christmas star, this last conjunction, because in 2150, or around there, give or take, it is officially going to be the age of Aries, or the age of Aquarius. The shift will officially occur. And after being stuck in fire signs the last 200 years, this Christmas star on this winter solstice of 2020 was the first one in an air sign and will be so for the next 200 years. So like I said, familiarizing the collective consciousness with the age that is coming. So this plays an astronomical, an astrological, energic effect upon the collective consciousness by astrological understandings. And so the Star of Bethlehem here, again, is an astronomical occasion. Is this not like, ask some questions? And this isn't even getting into the Star of David or the pentagram, right? Which, as a quick note, the Star of David is essentially has its roots in Hinduism. And it's a symbol of Brahman, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer. You have all different, it's kind of like the Trimurti, where you're throwing in different aspects of divinity into one symbol, which I think there's more to look into there. It's also tied to the Seal of Solomon. That's a whole nother thing. A lot of people have thrown so many associations in on the Star of David. So that would take more time than what I'm going to give it now. But the pentagram, as a quick last note, as a star, right? Another star that's utilized inside and outside, antagonistically to Christianity, somehow associated with the devil for whatever reason, right? Is a representation that goes way back to the pagan, way back, and the 5 different sides to it is an embodiment of the 5th element, the quintessence. The 4 is earth, air, water, and fire, the 4 elements, and the 5th is spirit, or the ether, the prima materia, the philosopher's stone, what have you. This is the concrescence, the summit, the inclusion of all aspects of manifestation in on one another, all elements of the world, including spirit, and the connection between spirit and the material world. So this gets really heady, dives into the esoteric, is rooted in the pagan, probably the reason that it got used to be associated with the devil, as it's been abstractly created through misunderstandings of mythologies passed through time.
He said it my fault.
All right, I'm going to stop.
I think I dropped some more. I don't been on over 3 hours, but I'm gonna drop some more of him tomorrow because I used to play him a lot of his videos. Because like I said, he's personally been on my show twice live.
To Spiritual Studies session 33.
I communicate with him. Just
in
like
thinking of how to make a
mom.
33rd segment, I thought I would make one that is purely dedicated to divinity and all aspects, all manner of esoteric or religious terminology. So we've got quite a list to get through in the next hour, but we're going to cover a definition of spirit, a definition of soul, a definition, a lengthy one at that.
I'll drop this video here tomorrow live. I stream this tomorrow live. So I'm gonna end this for the night. I hope y'all have a wonderful the rest of your night. I'm gonna chill out now. Watch my girl, Mr. Torres. She just dropped another reading, but I'm gonna y'all go over there and subscribe to it. And y'all can watch it yourself.